Chapter 126. In this day and age, even the female leads are fiercely competing among themselves. After witnessing the struggle among the three women, Junqing sighed with genuine emotion. He then decided that it would be better to keep the female leads separated, or to find someone capable of keeping them all in check to prevent such intense internal competition. Yue Jinlian was mature and calm, but she lacked the authority. Li Xixue had the status and power, but her temperament was too aloof, making it clear she couldn't control the other female leads. When the class bell rang, Yue Jinlian walked in somewhat awkwardly. Only then did the three women separate and return to their respective seats. Junqing watched Yue Jinlian on the podium with a hint of amusement. He had torn her black stockings, and now her bare legs, hidden beneath her long skirt, might be freezing. He stood up. Class, you may not know that teacher you recently received acupuncture from a doctor and hasn't fully recovered yet, but she's here to teach us anyway. Let's give her a round of applause. With that, Junqing led the applause. Seeing him take the initiative, the students all stood up, moved by Yue Jinlian's dedication. Yue Jinlian looked at the enthusiastic students, and then at Junqing's smiling eyes, gritting her teeth so hard she nearly shattered them. At that moment, she really wanted to bite him in half. But for now, she could only nod stiffly and motion for the students to sit down. During a break in the lecture, she mouthed to Junqing, "Next time, I'm going to break you." Ding, the host has stirred the heart of female lead Murong Wan, earning 1,000 villain points. Ding, the host has gained plus 10 favor from female lead Li Xixue. Female lead charm aura activated, favorability plus 20, current favorability 70, adoration. Ding, the host has gained the adoration of Su Chen's novel's first female lead, significantly altering the plot. Villain points plus 30,000. This was the result of Junqing's impartial actions, which deepened both Murong Wan's and Li Xixue's feelings for him. Although Li Xixue appeared to be all looks and no brains, having grown up in a powerful family, her thoughts and observations tended to be more cynical. She had actually envied Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu, which was why she yearned so deeply for the bond they shared. Her initial cooperation with Junqing had merely been to break free from Su Chen, but now things were different. Li Xixue had fully given her heart to him. Whether it was her deepening feelings for Junqing, or the increasingly open and candid conversations with Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu, it was clear that this female lead was beginning to change, no longer suppressing herself as much. Looking at Li Xixue's increasingly fair and radiant face beneath a strand of beautiful black hair, Junqing felt pleased. After all, he had, in a way, saved a lost girl, though the abyss he represented was even deeper, and once she stepped in, there was no way out. Junqing, Su Chen's actions are becoming more and more aggressive. He even reformulated the cosmetic recipe and directly held a product launch to release it. I personally took a sample for testing and found that its effectiveness is even better than before, but it's not as gentle as the original and is likely to cause side effects. What should we do? Junqing shook his head, a faint, mysterious light gleaming in his eyes. Don't worry about it. This won't affect you. Li Xixue was taken aback, but hesitantly agreed. Though she had her own thoughts, she now deferred entirely to Junqing, content to simply be his little woman. By the way, have you been reading more books recently, as I asked? Junqing raised an eyebrow, shifting the topic to Li Xixue. Since she showed no interest in subjects like mathematics, he thought she might try literature instead. Of course I've been reading. Li Xixue, acutely aware of her recent inadequacy compared to Junqing, had been diligently studying literature, spending all her free time reading. Oh, what have you been reading then? Junqing pressed further, skeptical that she had actually read anything. She rattled off titles, like The Overbearing Prince's Pampered Wife, and The 7-Year-Old Adorable Child of the Precious Little Wife. Junqing was utterly speechless upon hearing this. He began to worry about the potential intelligence of any future offspring they might have. Ah, right. I'll come to your place after school. Didn't you want to know why your grandfather favors Su Chen so much? The smile gradually faded from Li Xixue's face. Why do we have to go back? I don't want to return. It doesn't feel like home anymore. Don't worry, I'll be with you. Your father and grandfather won't dare to bully you. Junqing affectionately patted Li Xixue's head. With his current influence, nothing in Lilith posed any resistance to him anymore. Not even the Li family, once considered equal to his family among the 4 great families. Only then did Li Xixue remember that she wasn't alone anymore. Junqing was always standing behind her. Touched, she nestled into his embrace. From the podium, Yue Jinlian, who was still teaching, frowned at the scene and coughed lightly, snapping Li Xixue out of her reverie. Li Xixue quickly straightened up, not daring to look up. What she didn't realize was that Yue Jinlian wasn't just reminding her. She was also warning Junqing to be mindful of their behavior. Truth be told, she felt a bit jealous. After school, Junqing took Li Xixue back to her ancestral home, the Li family, one of the 4 great families. Unlike the Gu family, which maintained balanced development across politics, business, underground affairs, and more, the Li family focused primarily on commerce. Their family-owned company had become an industry powerhouse. In terms of commercial strength, they were second to none in Luodu, which was how they earned their place among the 4 great families. However, the Li family had declined significantly recently, barely maintaining the dignity of an established family. Walking through the Li family estate, Junqing remarked, as expected of an old established family. Even in decline, a starved camel is still bigger than a horse. Though it couldn't compare to the Gu family's estate, where bodyguards and maids broke up due to long-distance relationships, this manor was still considered a rare luxury property in Luodu. Li Xixue began introducing her home to Gu Junqing. Junqing, look at that garden over there. I loved playing there when I was little. Except when I ran into those concubines, that was annoying. She pouted with dissatisfaction. Oh, how many concubines does your father have? Li Xixue's father, Li Xiao, was quite bold. Gu Junqing grew curious. His own father was somewhat henpecked and only dared to look at his mother, Xie Ying. Gu Junqing suspected it was because the Xia family, to which his mother belonged, held considerable status. If it weren't for the Gu family patriarch's firm insistence back then, coupled with the deep affection between the couple, Gu Junqing's father, Gu Junxiang, would likely have married into his wife's family. Gu Junqing might even have ended up with the surname Xia by now. There are probably still 2 or 3 who can't bear to leave this place. The other concubines seem to have already departed. Li Xixue lifted her head, resting her chin on her finger as she thoughtfully replied. Chapter 127. Oh, why did they all leave? Gu Junqing asked curiously. It could not be. How could anyone willingly leave such a large family like the Li family? Li Xixue noticed that none of the servants nearby were paying attention to them. She gestured for Gu Junqing to lower his head, as her 168 centimeters height could not reach the ear of his nearly 190 centimeters frame. Seeing how cautious she was being, Gu Junqing curiously bent down. I heard my father was too promiscuous when he was young, so he has performance issues. I was born when he was still young. Later, when he wanted to have a son, he could not conceive anymore. The concubines he took later were all arranged by my grandfather. They thought it was my mother's problem at first, so they kept finding concubines for father, but none worked. Eventually they found out through examination that it was actually father's problem. The few concubines who stayed recently are all still untouched. Li Xixue wore a mischievous, gleeful smile as she mocked her own father. Her resentment toward her father ran deep, both from his lack of care since her childhood, and his insistence that she marry Su Chen. That is why she held nothing back from Gu Junqing, telling him everything. Of course, she still whispered discreetly into Gu Junqing's ear. After all, if her father found out she had revealed all his secrets, the consequences would not be pleasant. Gu Junqing chuckled in amazement, never expecting the now respected head of the Li family to have such a problem. And those concubines still do not know about father's condition. I heard father does not even dare to touch them now. Gu Junqing lightly tapped Li Xixue's head. If you put this gossipy energy into your studies, would your grades still be like this? Li Xixue rolled her eyes in pain. You sound just like my mother, she says the same thing to me. As they talked, they arrived at the main courtyard. Li Xixue's father, Li Xiao, came out to greet Gu Junqing. Although Gu Junqing was just a junior, Li Xiao had heard about his sweeping reforms in the Gu family. Now he essentially held great power within the Gu family. His father fully supported his son. During 4 great families meetings, the way he praised his son still made Li Xiao's teeth ache with jealousy. Honestly, if only he had a child like Gu Junqing, rather than this underachieving daughter. Li Xiao wore an expression of frustration. His daughter spent all her time with Gu Junqing without learning anything useful to help manage family affairs. Though Li Xiao did not know Gu Junqing's purpose for visiting, he still welcomed him with a smiling face. Gu Junqing surveyed the Li family's interior decor, silently admiring it. Numerous antiques filled the space, with classical decorations showcasing the Li family's extraordinary status. There was even a calligraphy and painting section where Gu Junqing's discerning eye identified many works by famous masters. Any single piece would be incredibly valuable. This was the difference between an established family and the nouveau riche, the heritage that takes generations to build. It takes at least several generations of effort to build a family's prosperity. After both parties sat down, Li Xiao prepared tea for Gu Junqing and inquired about his visit. Junqing, what brings you to our Li family today? Nothing special. It is just that since I have a good relationship with Li Xixue, I came to help the Li family resolve a major problem. Gu Junqing schemed the hot tea with his teacup and got straight to the point. Junqing, you must be joking. My Li family does not have any troubles. Li Xiao was taken aback, the smile on his face fading slightly. But an old fox remained an old fox. Not a single extra expression showed on his face. Is that so? Then why has the Li family's control over its own companies weakened so much lately, to the point where the family itself has declined significantly? Gu Junqing straightened up, his sharp eyes devoid of any warmth. Li Xixue had gone to speak with her mother, leaving only him and Li Xiao in the room. He did not want to waste time. Young Master Gu, where did you get this information? Li Xiao's expression turned serious as well, and his address for Gu Junqing shifted from the familiar use of his name to the more formal Young Master Gu. You do not need to worry about where I got the information. All you need to know is that I am here to solve your problem. Is that so? Young Master Gu, I appreciate your visit, but this is a problem you cannot solve. Seeing that Gu Junqing was unwilling to elaborate, Li Xiao could only offer a bitter smile. Not necessarily. Is it not just the old master's illness? I can cure it. Gu Junqing resumed his languid posture. After all, he was here to help the Li family, not to demand anything from them. Hearing this, Li Xiao immediately sat up straight. He did not think Gu Junqing was joking. Someone of Gu Junqing's status had no reason to jest with him. Young Master Gu, are you certain you can cure the old master? Li Xiao asked anxiously. The news of the Li family's patriarch falling ill was not particularly shocking, given his advanced age. However, the Li family's business empire had been built entirely by the old master, and only he could keep the family's senior members in check. If the old master were gone, even if the Li family did not collapse entirely, it would certainly lose its former glory, and no longer deserve to be called one of the four great families. Of course, why would I come here if I were not sure? Gu Junqing took a sip of tea, still speaking unhurriedly. Their roles had shifted. This was no longer a conversation between an elder and a junior, but one between someone seeking help and the person being sought. Only this kind of demeanor could inspire hope, as if he held all the cards. In contrast, the protagonist's rushed and desperate expression, as if everything would fall apart without him, was precisely why others distrusted, or even mocked him. Young Master Gu, it is not that I do not trust you, but this matter is of utmost importance. Even young Master Sichen, who bears the title of Divine Doctor, could not cure my father's illness. He could only keep him barely alive. Gu Junqing smiled. Just because he could not cure it does not mean I cannot. Moreover, my teacher is the same as Sichen's. Both of us were taught by Master Zhu. This statement shocked Li Xiao. Young Master Gu, if your teacher is indeed the mysterious Master Zhu, then I am willing to trust you this once. However, what does the Li family need to do for you? Is there anything left in the Li family that young Master Gu could possibly need? After a moment of silence, Li Xiao spoke seriously to Gu Junqing. I want the Li family to pledge allegiance to the Gu family. Chapter 128. I want the Li family to pledge allegiance to the Gu family, henceforth following the Gu family's lead in all matters. Gu Junqing smiled as he stated his purpose for coming today. Li Xiao's hand, which was brewing tea, paused. He lifted his head in disbelief, staring at Gu Junqing. Young Master Gu, you must be joking. Do you think I would joke about something like this at a time like this? Gu Junqing interrupted Li Xiao before he could say more. He had no desire to waste words on this matter. I cannot make this decision. We must wait for the old master to wake up. He remains the spiritual pillar of the Li family, and only he can decide such matters. After a moment of silence, Li Xiao spoke slowly. Are you suggesting that I should cure the old master first? Gu Junqing scoffed. Trying to get something for nothing from me, Gu Junqing? No one had ever managed to take advantage of him in this regard. Not even the numerous protagonists he had encountered, let alone a mere head of the Li family. Currently, Gu Junqing's influence in the entire Luo city was unmatched. He had even deliberately sensed the energy within the Li family estate. The strongest present did not exceed the 4th rank, let alone reach the level of a grandmaster. This placed them far beneath the Gu family. Even Gu Junqing himself had not fully uncovered the depths of the Gu family's power. But from what he currently understood, the Gu family still possessed individuals whose strength was not inferior to his own. This was the foundation that qualified them to be called an aristocratic family. The gap between them and ordinary families was like heaven and earth. Li Xiao fell silent. He truly could not make this decision. Originally, their families were known as the 4 great families, yet now the Gu family wanted the Li family to follow their lead. Moreover, alliances between great families were not formed by mere words. For instance, the Li family would need to demonstrate sufficient sincerity to earn the Gu family's trust, such as handing over 51% of their company shares to the Gu family's control. Young Master Gu, Sichen has not visited in a long time. With the old master unconscious, I simply cannot produce that many shares. Li Xiao bitterly explained the Li family's current predicament. As the family head, he did not even hold substantial shares in his own company. This illustrated just how dire the Li family's situation had become. Gu Junqing pondered for a moment. It seemed the Li family's current difficulties indeed made it hard for them to offer anything that would tempt him. Very well. You will hand over 30% of your shares. Additionally, cancel Li Xixue's engagement to Sichen and have her work for me from now on. Gu Junqing stated indifferently. The dynamics between them seemed to be shifting. Li Xiao no longer dared to speak to Gu Junqing in the tone one would use with a junior. Instead, he found himself needing to curry favor, since Gu Junqing was now the only person who could save the Li family. His original insistence on marrying Li Xixue to Sichen stemmed from Sichen's ability to cure the Li family's old master. That was why he had tolerated Sichen's behavior all along. He had been willing to sacrifice his own daughter, especially since Sichen could be considered outstanding among his peers. Whether in martial arts or medical skills, Sichen ranked among the best of the younger generation. With proper guidance, Li Xiao believed Sichen could qualify as his son-in-law. But now that Gu Junqing could directly treat the old master, and given that Gu Junqing's reputation thundered throughout Luo City, even surpassing that of Li Xiao himself, the head of one of the 4 great families. When comparing Sichen to Gu Junqing, it was like comparing a firefly's glow to the brilliance of the full moon. How could the light of a mere grain of rice compete with the radiance of the bright moon? One was a divine dragon in the heavens, the other a toad on the ground. The gap between them was beyond measure. Young Master Gu, I can agree to your terms first. We can draft a contract. As long as you save the old master, the Li family will follow your lead. Hearing this, Gu Junqing nodded in satisfaction. This could be considered coercion through power, but such tactics were essential for a great villain. It was behavior ingrained in his DNA. Every time Gu Junqing snatched a female lead or oppressed the male lead, he felt his bloodline stirring. Seeing Gu Junqing nod, Li Xiao let out a sigh of relief. He hastily drew up a contract with Gu Junqing. The Li family's current situation was truly far worse than before. They desperately needed the old master to wake up, take charge of the overall situation, and gradually transfer his authority to him. In truth, The root of this predicament lay in the old master's past miscalculations and his failure to firmly grasp the center of power. This was why, after Gu Junqing exposed the Li family's current plight, they had no choice but to submit to him. After Gu Junqing signed the contract, Li Xiao, as an elder, stood up and bowed deeply to him. This was not a matter of courtesy, but an act of reverence from a subordinate to their master. Young Master Gu, since the contract is signed, shall we begin the treatment? Li Xiao stood up, his expression returning to its usual calm and unreadable state. As the head of the family, he typically kept his emotions hidden. Today, however, the weight of decisions affecting their future had repeatedly moved him. He had initially thought the Li family was doomed to decline, but Gu Junqing had given them a glimmer of hope. Gu Junqing rose gracefully and followed Li Xiao out of the living room. After they left, a small head peeked out from around the corner of the second-floor staircase. Li Xixue watched the scene below through the gaps in the staircase. Tears welled in the corners of her eyes. She had not expected Brother Junqing not only to save her and help her annul the engagement, but also to claim he was saving the Li family for her sake and even rescuing her grandfather. Her heart was now entirely filled with him, leaving no room for anyone else. A daughter's loyalty truly lies with her beloved. Even though Gu Junqing had coerced her father and forced the Li family to submit to the Gu family, it did nothing to tarnish his image in her eyes. Though she now understood why her father had insisted she marry Su Chen despite her protests, she still harbored resentment, feeling her father valued the family far more than her. But Gu Junqing was different. For her, he had even resorted to coercing the Li family. Li Xixue's eyes seemed to sparkle with hearts, shooting Yu towards Gu Junqing. Ding, the host has moved the heart of the female lead Li Xixue, increasing favorability by +20. Current favorability 90, until death do us part. Ding, the host has reduced the male lead Su Chen's luck and altered the plot, rewarding 20,000 villain points. A faint smile tugged at Gu Junqing's lips. With his perception, how could he not have noticed Li Xixue eavesdropping from the staircase corner? He had said those words precisely for her to hear. Young Master Gu, my daughter has embarrassed us. Li Xiao walked beside Gu Junqing and whispered softly. He had also noticed his daughter's gaze and felt somewhat ashamed. After all, with such a large gap, her entire head was almost visible. How could they not have noticed? It is fine. Xixue is adorable. Gu Junqing smiled faintly and waved his hand dismissively. Li Xixue could indeed provide him with significant assistance. After all, keeping tabs on the protagonist's actions and making him work diligently, without complaint, was no simple feat for an ordinary person. Li Xixue had truly learned much about cunning and tactics from the Li family environment. Aside from her aversion to studying, she had almost no shortcomings. Of course, it would be even better if she did not engage in constant scheming against Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu. Chapter 129. Gu Junqing followed Li Xiao to the outside of a room. Along the way, rare treasures were casually displayed. Calligraphy, paintings, antiques, and rare woods showcased the Li family's profound heritage. Li Xiao also introduced some of the Li family's businesses. The Li family was one of the 4 great families, with countless companies, shares, and real estate under their name. However, none of this held any particular significance for Gu Junqing. It was all as fleeting as passing clouds. If the Li family lacked even this level of foundation, there would be no need for him to invest effort in acquiring them. The underground forces in Luo City were nearly unified, and now entirely under Gu Junqing's control. His current focus was on integrating and unifying all the forces in Luo City, which would provide the support needed to defeat the numerous protagonists. Although the current protagonists were still just elite soldiers or divine doctors, there was no telling when someone like a reincarnated immortal emperor might appear. With Gu Junqing's current strength, he probably would not be able to withstand even a single finger from such an opponent. Young Master Gu, this is the place. Li Xiao pointed to an ornately decorated wooden door, from which a faint scent of incense seemed to emanate. The price of this wooden door alone was already exorbitant. Gu Junqing stepped through the door and found the Li family's patriarch lying on a bed, connected to various medical instruments. Many doctors were monitoring him nearby. Noticing their entrance, the lead physician hurried forward. Family Headley, your father's condition is critical. All his vital signs are abnormal. Has that divine Dr. Sun not arrived yet? The physician approached Li Xiao as he spoke. Su Chen has not been here for a long time. This is young Master Gu Junqing of the Gu family. His medical skills surpass even Su Chen's. Li Xiao shook his head, stepping aside to introduce Gu Junqing. The lead physician scrutinized Gu Junqing, inwardly skeptical about whether a young master from a prominent family could possess such exceptional medical skills. He had once been arrogant and unruly, initially looking down on Su Chen with utmost disdain. But after Su Chen treated the Li family patriarch and thoroughly humbled him, he no longer dared to make presumptuous judgments about Su Chen's abilities. Since then, he had always referred to Su Chen as Divine Dr. Su. Now, observing Gu Junqing's noble and aloof demeanor and Li Xiao's respectful attitude, he had learned his lesson. Last time, he had doubted Su Chen because of his rustic appearance and ended up with a bruised ego. Of course, he also felt that someone of Su Chen's status was still within his reach to challenge, but Gu Junqing's lofty aura made it clear he was out of his league. So, he refrained from saying much. He briefly explained the situation to Gu Junqing, who nodded in acknowledgement. A golden light flashed in Gu Junqing's eyes as he activated his golden eyes. He carefully examined the Li family patriarch in the sterile room and found that the old man's health was indeed deteriorating. Many of his organs were aging, his qi and blood circulation were poor, and he suffered from numerous ailments. These were all consequences of neglecting his health in his youth. However, these conditions should not have caused him to fall into a coma. Moreover, Sichen, with his master-level medical skills, though far inferior to Gu Junqing's divine medical skill, should have been more than capable of treating the Li family patriarch. What did Sichen say? Gu Junqing inquired. He said the patriarch's condition is due to bodily aging, and that he can only barely keep the patriarch alive for now. However, it is true that the instruments monitoring the old master's condition would show improvement after Sichen's treatments, but they would soon revert to their previous state. Li Xiao recalled the scene at the time, and replied after considering the old master's physical condition. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow, a smile in his eyes, indicating he understood. It seems Sichen has the same idea as me, keeping the old master ill until the Li family reaches its breaking point before stepping in to treat him. Gu Junqing thought to himself. It appeared Sichen also understood the principle that timely help is better than abundant praise. Only by treating the Li family at their most desperate moment could he leave a deep impression. That is why Sichen did not cure the Li family's old master completely, but instead kept him barely alive. To avoid drawing attention, he even deliberately kept the Li family's old master unconscious. This way, the old master himself could not explain why his condition fluctuated, giving Sichen more opportunities for behind-the-scenes manipulation. Sichen was indeed clever. Shortly after descending the mountain, he could devise such a method to tie the Li family to him. Unfortunately, he encountered Gu Junqing, who intercepted him first. Just like the female protagonists from Sichen's original story, Li Xixue, Shi Hanyan, and Chen Lingyu all had been intercepted by Gu Junqing. Even with the Li family, Gu Junqing was one step ahead of Sichen. Senior brother Sichen, there is nothing to be done. I can only graciously accept your women and career. Gu Junqing smiled. Master Gu, doctor, how is it? Can you treat him? The chief physician initially wanted to address him as young Master Gu, but then remembered he might not have the right to do so, quickly changing to Dr. Gu. Yes, prepare surgical gowns for me. I am going to operate. Gu Junqing instructed. Li Xiao was extremely excited, because Gu Junqing's words always carried a convincing quality. Whenever Gu Junqing spoke, people could not help but believe him. Of course, there were exceptions when Gu Junqing spoke to the female leads. Gu Junqing's divine medical skill was not limited to traditional Chinese medicine. He was also proficient in Western medicine. The old Master Li's illness was complex and troublesome, requiring treatment step by step in sequence. Therefore, he planned to use Western medicine for symptomatic treatment first, then employ Chinese medicine to regulate the body for fundamental recovery. The numerous doctors watched Gu Junqing's precise, millimeter-accurate operations, each inwardly marveling. How could such a young man possess such remarkable medical skills? He performed various surgical procedures on old Master Li with fluid ease, accurately removing lesions from different parts of his body. After the surgery, he administered Chinese acupuncture to old Master Li, making his body less weak and activating his qi and blood circulation. Unlike before, where qi and blood circulation would encounter blockages after a short while. Blocked qi and blood lead to numerous illnesses. Smooth qi and blood circulation cures all ailments. The chief physician initially did not believe Gu Junqing possessed medical skills superior to Sichen's. But watching Gu Junqing's seamless operations and the old master's increasingly improving physical indicators, he could only stand there dumbfounded. Such medical skill was almost comparable to the legends of reviving the dead and restoring flesh to bones, miraculously healing the sick. The chief physician sighed deeply, thinking how terrifying young people were these days, each more formidable than the last. Li Xiao watched Gu Junqing's surgical procedures and urgently asked the chief physician beside him, "How is it? Any improvement?" It was not that he did not trust Gu Junqing's medical skills, but rather that old Master Li was far too important to the current Li family. Not the slightest mishap could be permitted. Rest assured, family head. As expected, old Master Li should wake up soon. This young Master Gu's medical skills are truly remarkable, the chief physician said confidently. While he might not be skilled in treating illnesses himself, he certainly knew how to read medical charts. Chapter 130. That's truly wonderful. Li Xiao was excited, but then he thought, if his father recovered successfully, and then saw that his son had essentially sold out the entire Li family, would he not be so furious he would cough up blood again? His heart grew somewhat uneasy. Forget it. Gu Junqing, you really raised an exceptional son. A trace of envy flashed across Li Xiao's face. If the Gu son were a Li son, it would be the Li family enjoying such glory now. Still, submitting to the Gu family in its current state does not seem all that shameful. Li Xiao could only sigh in resignation. Since Gu Junqing had cured his father, the Li family's submission was already a foregone conclusion. He did not have the nerve to break the agreement, nor did he possess the capability. The Gu family of today was no longer the Gu family of the past. Their actions in Luoda had grown increasingly overbearing, as they had found excuses to swallow up several large corporations and enterprises. Even members of the other major families dared not give the Gu family any opening, fearing they too would be completely taken over. After thinking it through, Li Xiao felt a bit more at ease, but his envy for Gu Junqing, that henpecked man, only deepened. Then, remembering he only had a daughter, his jealousy intensified further. Suddenly, another thought struck him. If Sichen could not cure his condition, perhaps Gu Junqing could. Li Xiao began to entertain the idea deciding he must find an opportunity to ask Gu Junqing whether it might still be possible for him to father a son late in life. In truth, Sichen could have treated his condition, but Sichen had suddenly realized that if Li Xiao had a son, the family fortune would undoubtedly go to the son. As a son-in-law, Sichen would likely have no chance at the inheritance, so he deliberately left Li Xiao's condition untreated. It could be said that Sichen's calculations were quite shrewd. Had his opponent not been Gu Junqing, the Li family would have basically fallen right into his hands. If Sichen ever learned that all his schemes regarding the Li family had been disrupted by Gu Junqing, he would probably cough up blood in fury. Then he would shout 3 times to the heavens, why was Qing born when Chen already existed? After curing the Li family's patriarch, Gu Junqing emerged from the operating room pretending to be weak and exhausted. This appearance would make others all the more grateful. Sure enough, when Li Xiao received the news that the old master was safe and sound, he was so moved he nearly shed tears. The Li family desperately needed a pillar of strength at this moment. The old master had been holding up well until his sudden collapse forced Li Xiao, still inexperienced, to step up, only to find he could not withstand the pressures closing in from all sides. He was not yet fully capable of managing all the affairs of a major family, which was precisely why the Li family had ended up in its current predicament. Young Master Gu, on behalf of the entire Li family, I thank you. Li Xiao bowed solemnly to Gu Junqing. Gu Junqing waved a hand. It is nothing. Just remember our agreement. Young Master Gu, please rest for a while. Later, our Li family will hold a family gathering, and would be honored to have you join us. Gu Junqing nodded and followed a servant designated by Li Xiao upstairs. Li Xiao watched him ascend, his expression conflicted. He truly did not want the Li family to end like this. The old steward, noticing his master's inner turmoil, stepped forward and asked, Master, are we really going to let the Li family submit to the Gu family? Li Xiao sighed. There is no other way now. What is done, and we will wait until the old master regains consciousness before making any final decisions. Besides, that Gu Junqing is far too formidable. If my information is correct, the current situation with Loda's underground forces is all part of his behind-the-scenes maneuvering. This young man actually accomplished such a feat without making a sound. Our 4 great families have always been interconnected, and although there is competition behind the scenes, we have maintained relative harmony. Never before has one family submitted to another. Perhaps the sky of Luo City is about to change. Li Xiao murmured, seemingly explaining to the old butler, but actually giving himself a reason to convince himself. Never mind, let us go check on the old master. Li Xiao sighed. Although they still had to wait for the old master to wake up before deciding whether to submit to the Gu family, they definitely had to hand over the 30% shares of the Li family's company. And do you remember some of the things Gu Junqing said earlier? That Sichen actually dared to play us for fools. The old master suddenly fell into a coma because of him, and we even begged him to prolong the old master's life. This young man's heart is too ruthless. Announce that from now on, the Li family will have no further connection with him and cancel the engagement. Li Xiao instructed the old butler. Yes, the old butler bowed and went to carry out the orders. Sichen, the Li family's money is not so easily swallowed. Some time ago, Sichen used the old master's illness as leverage and claimed the company needed growth to extort a large sum of money from him. At the time, he thought that once the 2 families became in-laws, he could have Sichen invite his master down the mountain to treat the old master. He never expected that Sichen could actually cure him himself, but wanted to hold the Li family by the throat. Sichen, the old master has some ties with your master. Do you think your master would spare you if he found out? Li Xiao sneered coldly, then entered the ward to check if the old master was all right. Gu Junqing walked to the 2nd floor and entered the room prepared for him by the servant. All right, you may leave, Gu Junqing instructed. Yes, the servant bowed and exited. Once alone, Gu Junqing returned to his usual calm and unruffled state. Feeling a bit bored, he decided to go out and have a chat about life with Li Xixue. With Li Xixue's current favorability, he could basically do whatever he wanted with her. He wanted to find Li Xixue to vent his loneliness and engage in a battle of wits. Speaking of which, if you lick the female lead all over, does that count as being a simp? Gu Junqing was pondering this question. Perhaps there are different meanings to being a simp, and the culture is vast and profound. Gu Junqing sighed. Just as he was about to call Li Xixue to come out, he decided he did not want to use his golden eyes to scan room by room, lest he see something he should not. After all, the Li family is a wealthy household, and which wealthy family does not have some dirty secrets? As soon as Gu Junqing stepped out of his room, he noticed another woman emerging from a room as well. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow and glanced at her, only to find she was a top-tier beauty. Even Gu Junqing, who was accustomed to female leads, was stunned by her beauty. She was about 1.7 meters tall, with a lovely face, long flowing hair, and a crimson beauty mark between her willow leaf eyebrows. Her eyes were bright and full of charm, misty and alluring, with a small, slightly upturned mouth, and red lips slightly parted, as if inviting a kiss. Gu Junqing felt that this woman had charm ingrained in her bones, a woman who exuded seduction from within. In short, she was the epitome of seduction. Her skin was as smooth as a baby's, her waist slender, and her figure curvaceous in all the right places. A form-fitting dress accentuated her slender and stunning figure, complemented by exquisite and elegant black stockings with high heels. It perfectly appealed to Gu Junqing's preferences. Long legs and black stockings. Chapter 131. Gu Junqing and the woman who appeared to be a young married lady, exchanged glances. They stood there, sizing each other up. When the woman saw Gu Junqing's face, she was visibly stunned. How could such a handsome person exist in the world? Dressed in white with black hair, his clothes and hair flowed freely. They swayed gently, exuding an ethereal elegance. A subtle glow seemed to ripple across Gu Junqing's exceptionally fair skin. His eyes shimmered with a glass-like brilliance. His features were as exquisite as a painting, so handsome that he hardly seemed real. His deep, dark eyes held a mesmerizing radiance. They carried an expression that seemed both amused and indifferent. It harbored a playful cynicism that could shift into aloof detachment, then transform into lingering tenderness. This made him utterly unpredictable. Yue Jinlian had never seen such a captivating person. He stirred feelings in her heart that had long lain dormant. Wearing high heels, she took graceful steps forward. She smiled as she inquired of Gu Junqing. Yet, the way her eyes flickered and her demeanor exuded charm suggested she was trying to seduce him. "Little one, what are you doing here?" Gu Junqing was somewhat surprised. He possessed remarkable and formidable skills. No one had ever called him little one before. However, he certainly was not going to argue with her on the spot about his size. He coughed lightly and replied, "Sister, I am Li Xixue's classmate. I came to visit today for a matter." "Is that so? What a sweet talker. Since you are Xixue's friend, you should call me Aunt Yu." Yue Jinlian chuckled. "All right then, Aunt Yu." Gu Junqing retaliated for her earlier remark. No woman who had seen his scale had ever called him small. Yue Jinlian's expression stiffened, tinged with a hint of resentment. She felt Gu Junqing was a bit tactless. He did not even attempt to decline calling her aunt. "Come on, I will take you to that girl Xixue's room." Yue Jinlian walked ahead, leading Gu Junqing to Li Xixue's room. She walked very close to him. Gu Junqing could smell the intoxicating fragrance emanating from her. Her walking posture was exceedingly alluring, as if deliberately trying to tempt him. Gu Junqing was never the type of hypocritical man who would look away. He always took advantage of any opportunity. Of course, he feasted his eyes to the fullest. Watching Yue Jinlian's swaying walk, he decided her silhouette was truly unparalleled. He only wanted to tell Yue Jinlian that he would like to make an investment. "Here we are." Yue Jinlian pointed to the room and knocked on the door. Hearing the sound, Li Xixue ran out to open it. "Concubine Yu, what are you doing here?" Li Xixue's expression turned displeased when she saw Yue Jinlian. She and Yue Jinlian did not get along. She had thought it was Gu Junqing. "Little Xixue, is that any way to treat a concubine? Didn't I bring your classmate to you?" Yue Jinlian raised an eyebrow and stepped aside as Gu Junqing walked in. Li Xixue beamed with joy upon seeing Gu Junqing. She quickly ran up and threw herself into his arms. Yue Jinlian's eyebrows lifted slightly. "So it is not just a classmate, but a little sweetheart." She teased them flirtatiously. "What kind of relationship we have is none of your business. Concubine Yu, it seems you have no authority over me." Li Xixue retorted angrily. "How could I possibly manage our Li family's young lady? Your father's old steward has notified us that dinner will be served soon. You two lovebirds should hurry up." Yue Jinlian walked out. Before leaving, she even threw a flirtatious glance at Gu Junqing. Gu Junqing fell silent. Had he just been teased? Indeed, youth fails to appreciate the charm of an older woman. "What is the deal with this concubine? She is so young?" Gu Junqing asked Li Xixue after Yue Jinlian left. They moved to the bedroom and sat on the sofa. "She is actually quite pitiful. Her family had no money, and her father owed substantial gambling debts. He sold her to our family." Li Xixue explained slowly. "After my grandfather saw her, he decided to take her in. Actually, she has no official status. My father does not like her and has never touched her. That is why she is practically invisible in this household. Nobody pays her any attention. I actually used to like her a lot when I was younger. I often played with her, but she is also the one who showed me all the scheming and cold realities within the Li family. So I also resent her somewhat. If not for her, I would not have known how covetous our usual relatives and uncles are toward our family, and I would not have discovered all the unspeakable secrets within the clan." Li Xixue's mood turned somber. Yue Jinlian had played a significant role in shaping who she had become. They could have been good friends. Gu Junqing understood now. He had noticed how well Yue Jinlian treated Li Xixue. Li Xixue seemed to harbor subtle hostility toward her, so this was the reason. However, in Gu Junqing's view, Yue Jinlian had likely acted this way to protect Li Xixue. By exposing her to the darkness and cruelty of human nature, she ensured Li Xixue could defend herself. After all, both the human heart and the sun should not be stared at directly. Although her goal was achieved, it was clear that Li Xixue's relationship with her had grown distant. Gu Junqing patted Li Xixue's head, wanting to comfort her. Unexpectedly, Li Xixue looked up slyly and smiled at him. "Actually, it is not all bad. At least I learned many people's secrets. For example, I found out that my father can no longer perform that particular act. I discovered it this way. I even subtly asked my mother about it and confirmed the news was true." Li Xixue grew excited, eagerly listing various secrets she knew. "And there is more. My second uncle is fighting for the family inheritance apparently because his daughter-in-law is pressuring him. Rumor has it he has some kind of relationship with her. I wonder whether the child his daughter-in-law gives birth to will call him grandpa or daddy. Also, I heard that after my second uncle's son, my cousin, found out, he did not react at all. Later, I learned he actually prefers male-on-male relationships. No wonder my sister-in-law ended up with her father-in-law. Hee hee." Li Xixue grew more and more animated. sharing all the unsavory secrets of her family with Gu Junqing. Gu Junqing could not help but laugh. This girl, Li Xixue, was truly a natural optimist. Even after witnessing the darkness in life, one can still maintain their true nature without being affected. However, these gossip topics were indeed somewhat inappropriate for children. It was better not to let Li Xixue continue speaking. Gu Junqing's gaze turned dangerous as he looked at Li Xixue, like a big bad wolf spotting a piece of juicy meat. He directly leaned in to cover Li Xixue's alluring lips. He feasted greedily on her delectable little mouth. Chapter 132. Just as the two were finding it hard to part, a servant of the Li family knocked on the door. "Young mistress, the family head asks you to come down for dinner." Only then did Gu Junqing release Li Xixue. Seeing her dazed eyes, as if she could not distinguish east from west, Gu Junqing found it somewhat amusing. He answered for her, "All right, we will be down shortly." The servant did not dare say anything. The Li family head had already instructed that Gu Junqing was an honored guest. As for why the honored guest had suddenly appeared in the young mistress's room, and why there were strange sounds inside, the servant did not dare mention it. He only acknowledged the request and left. "What is wrong?" "Still not recovered." A faint smile appeared at the corner of Gu Junqing's mouth. Li Xixue, who appeared sweet and innocent on the surface, but was actually quite scheming, showed an expression of complete surrender. Gu Junqing truly had not expected this. After all, some of the fast drives Li Xixue had taken Murong Wan, and the others on were things even he had not anticipated. Among the girls Gu Junqing knew, when it came to who was the most cunning, aside from Luo Ningyu, it was Li Xixue. Yet her current expression was utterly adorable. He never expected she was also someone whose theory surpassed her practice. He silently decided to give them more practical experience in the future. That way, when they drove fast again, they would have practical knowledge to support it. "Who told you to ambush me like that?" Li Xixue said coquettishly. "And this was your first time kissing me too." Li Xixue's heart was still pounding. Feeling the faint, pleasant scent of the man before her, she felt a little floaty. It felt as if her entire world had blossomed. "Let us go, we should head down for dinner." Gu Junqing patted Li Xixue's head and stood up. "Okay, let me change clothes first. These clothes are all wrinkled from your touching," Li Xixue said with a blush, lowering her head. She did not dare look at Gu Junqing. The front of her clothes had been completely messed up by his touches. Gu Junqing coughed awkwardly. He could actually explain that touching while kissing was an instinctive male behavior. When something as prominent as impressive peaks was pressing against his chest, it was distracting. Anyone would instinctively push against it. However, Gu Junqing did not explain. Instead, he said something that made Li Xixue even more shy. "Then what about you? Was it because you were pricked by a needle, so you wanted to feel where the needle was?" Gu Junqing's eyes filled with laughter as he teased Li Xixue, then left the room to wait for her. Not long after, Li Xixue changed into a white dress. Her dark hair accentuated her snow-white, smooth skin. She resembled a pure little white flower. She was sweet, pristine, and elegant. She was also like the snow lotus of Tianshan. She appeared pure and noble, seemingly out of reach. Gu Junqing smiled and took Li Xixue's hand. "Let us go down like this." Li Xixue agreed with a blush, feeling excited. This meant she and Gu Junqing were declaring their relationship to her father and her family. It also meant Gu Junqing would always stand behind Li Xixue, never letting others bully her. Gu Junqing led Li Xixue by the hand to the main hall. The hall was filled with many people, relatives and friends who regularly interacted with the Li family, as well as major shareholders of the Li family company, were present. They looked surprised to see Gu Junqing leading Li Xixue downstairs by hand. Everyone knew that Li Xixue was already engaged to a poor boy from the mountains. When the news first broke, the Li family relatives nearly laughed themselves silly. They had always been green with envy watching the main family live in such glory, so seeing them make such a poor judgment thrilled them to no end. Perhaps this was their chance to fight for the family fortune. Besides, whispers circulated that the old man was critically ill, so they assumed the division of assets would be announced. They rushed over immediately, assuming the old man had passed away. As for whether the Li family would fall apart or decline, they did not care. A small slice of the Li family's wealth would be enough to support their own families for a lifetime. But the young man before them did not look like a country bumpkin fresh out of the mountains. His innate noble aura, paired with his otherworldly beauty, made him seem like a god descended from on high. His bright, emotionless eyes shone like the sun, as if they could see right through a person's soul. It was impossible to meet his gaze. As for Li Xixue, her delicate arched eyebrows, captivating eyes, elegant nose, slightly flushed cheeks, and cherry-like lips were utterly enchanting. Standing side by side, Gu Junqing's extraordinary elegance and Li Xixue's graceful figure complemented each other perfectly. Even women who had always been jealous of Li Xixue had to admit that the two were a match made in heaven. Yue Jinlian watched as Gu Junqing descended slowly, her eyes growing brighter. She was utterly taken with this young man. He seemed to embody everything she had missed in her youth. Though she had only met him twice, she could not shake the feeling that when Gu Junqing stood there, the whole world revolved around him. A seductive smile played on Yue Jinlian's lips as she lost herself in thought. Men nearby who stole glances at her swallowed hard, unable to resist her allure. In truth, Yue Jinlian was not well liked by everyone. Many women in the family saw her as a threat and forbade their husbands from getting close to her. Although many men had tried to approach her in secret, hoping to win her favor, none had succeeded. Gu Junqing and Li Xixue walked down the stairs hand in hand, stirring whispers among the Li family members. Li Xiao's eyes held a mix of complexity and pride. Deep down, he loved his daughter dearly, but in a large family, personal desires often had to be set aside. He had chosen Su Chen back then because Su Chen could save the Li family from ruin. He had no other choice. When he heard about Su Chen's repulsive habits, he could only numb himself with jokes to ease the pain in his heart. He tried to lessen his heartache for his daughter. Even though his daughter detested Su Chen, he had no choice but to endure the pain and refuse her pleas. He could not afford to gamble with the family's fate. The Li family was on the brink of collapse. Saving it depended entirely on the old man, and saving the old man depended entirely on Su Chen. But as he watched Li Xixue now, arm in arm with Gu Junqing, his heart swelled with nothing but blessings for her. Moreover, the daughter had caught the attention of the most sought-after figure in Luo capital. Whether in terms of power or any other aspect, there was no young person in the entire Luo capital who could rival him. It would not be an exaggeration to say that Gu Junqing stood at the very peak of the younger generation in Luo capital. Chapter 133. Li Xiao's heart was now filled with relief. Gu Junqing was an outstanding individual who could also save the Li family, and Li Xixue herself was quite fond of him. Therefore, he felt completely at ease entrusting Li Xixue to Gu Junqing. To be honest, when Li Xixue had persistently wanted to cancel her engagement with Su Chen, he had been anxious too. He even thought that if Su Chen were willing, he would have married Su Chen himself, as long as Su Chen could save the Li family's patriarch. Seeing that the two were already in place, Li Xiao stepped onto the stage, coughed lightly, and interrupted the ongoing discussions about Gu Junqing and Li Xixue holding hands. Ahem, everyone. The reason I have called you all here today is to announce a major event. The crowd fell silent, holding their breath as they watched Li Xiao. It is about our patriarch. This afternoon, events took a turn. At this point, Li Xiao paused deliberately to create a bit of suspense. Upon hearing this, everyone assumed the patriarch had already passed away. Immediately, many people began to cry. Of course, it was fake crying. The excitement and joy in their eyes were barely concealed. It was the night of Oscar-winning performances, with many best actors showcasing their skills. They were afraid that if they shed too few tears, they would receive a smaller share of the inheritance. Some even began to threaten loudly. Where is the will the patriarch made before his death? Show it to us. If the share is too small, we will not accept it. Yes, if the share is too small, we will sell all our stocks. Li Xiao's younger brother, Li Xixue's second uncle, the middle-aged man who had slept with his own daughter-in-law and played the role of a grave robber, was filled with excitement. The more property he could secure, the more rewards his daughter-in-law would give him, even promising to bear him another son. Overwhelmed with excitement, he stepped forward first, completely disregarding the consequences in his pursuit of wealth. Elder brother, the patriarch loved me the most during his lifetime. He would definitely leave me the largest share. He continued, I am not greedy. Just 50% of the company's shares, and this mansion will do. You can distribute the rest among our siblings. Li Xiao's second brother stepped forward, pretending to be magnanimous. But as soon as he spoke, even Gu Junqing cast a disdainful glance his way. No wonder he had even slept with his own daughter-in-law. His level of shamelessness was something even Gu Junqing had to step back from. With the patriarch's second son already stepping up to claim the inheritance, the rest of the Li family could no longer sit still. They did not even bother pretending anymore. They could always put on a good show at the old man's funeral. They rushed forward to fight for their share of the inheritance, some even arguing until their faces turned red, afraid that their family would end up with less. Watching the farce unfold before him, Li Xiao felt somewhat embarrassed and apologized to Gu Junqing. It is fine, it is perfectly normal. Gu Junqing waved it off. The Li family's drama only highlighted the importance of his own decisions. Aside from his own parents, Gu Junqing would never entrust the Gu family to anyone else. He even personally vetted the loyalty of those in key positions and departments within the Gu family. Even if their loyalty to the Gu family and Gu Junqing passed the test, he still assessed their character. If someone was overly obsessed with wealth or power, he wanted nothing to do with them, no matter how loyal they were. Take, for example, the famous Three Kingdoms General Wei Yan. It was not that he lacked loyalty to Shu Han, but his desire for power and military achievements ultimately surpassed his loyalty, leading to his tragic execution. Of course, it could also be that the chancellor feared no one would be able to control Wei Yan after his passing. As for those overly passive Buddha-like youths, Gu Junqing also needed to consider this. How can a young person without any competitive spirit make progress? The art of employing people is truly a profound study. The tragedy of the Li family lay in the old master dispersing power too widely. He trusted his relatives and friends excessively while overlooking the most crucial factor, human nature. The lure of wealth moves men's hearts is not an empty saying. Watching the red-faced arguments below, Gu Junqing thought perhaps this was human nature in its truest form. Li Xiao nearly lost his composure too, stepping forward to continue speaking. Quiet, everyone. I have not finished. The old master was successfully treated this afternoon, and has now regained consciousness. At these words, the Li family relatives who had just been fighting over the inheritance to the point of drawing blood instantly stood frozen like wooden chickens. What had they just heard? Elder brother, are you not deceiving us? The old master has really awakened? The second master of the Li family could not believe what he was hearing. Li Xiao's expression now reached the peak of sarcasm. Indeed. And the old master heard everything you all just said. He continued, impossible. You must be lying to us. The old master was already critically ill. Even Sichen, the divine doctor, could not cure him. How could he possibly wake up? The second master spoke as if gone mad. How did you know he could not be cured? Li Xiao's expression sharpened. Speak. Did you also pay Sichen not to cure the old master? Only then did the second master realize he had slipped up, left stammering, and unable to refute. Gu Junqing showed no change in expression, completely unsurprised. Having complete knowledge of the entire story, although the book did not explicitly describe Sichen's methods, he understood the general progression of events. He had deduced some of Sichen's intentions from reading between the lines. Sichen could be said to be straddling both sides, placing bets on both the main and branch families opposing the Li family. This way, he could potentially both obtain money and marry the beauty. While ordinary people can plan one step ahead while taking another, a protagonist like Sichen naturally understood how to act most advantageously for himself. So, you are all quite disappointed that the old master is not dead, are you not? Why do you all look like you are at a funeral? Li Xiao's sarcastic words instantly changed the expressions of the Li family relatives. They all forced smiles. No, how could that be? Of course we are extremely happy that the old master is still alive. Enough with the act. Do you think the old master will still distribute any property to you after hearing what you said while he is still alive? The second master of the Li family said in a deep voice. He had finally sobered up from his frenzy. How could he not understand his own father? His father could be called a formidable hero. He built the Li family into one of Luo capital's 4 great families, something no ordinary person could achieve. Even if his father could forgive him, he definitely would not give him any additional inheritance. Then his daughter-in-law might ignore him completely. Thinking of his daughter-in-law's delicate figure, and how she sweetly called him daddy, he felt he absolutely had to make more effort. I do not care whether the old master is still alive or not, but if we do not get our share of the money, we will sell all our stocks. When that happens, we will not care about the Li family's survival. The second master of the Li family threatened sharply. Chapter 134. The threat from the second master of the Li family seemed to give the others a sense of direction, and they sobered up as well. It appeared this was a trap set for them, and they had no choice but to fight. As long as they got the money, there was no need to ever return to the main Li family estate. Family? Ha! As long as you have money, people will flock to flatter you everywhere in life. Some people can share joy, but not hardship, while others can endure adversity, but not share prosperity. This is the same principle. Seeing that emotional appeals were not working, Li Xiao began to press for power. He narrowed his eyes slightly and glanced at Gu Junqing beside him. Gu Junqing checked his phone and nodded, signaling that they could begin. Li Xiao understood and stepped forward. Sell if you want. I do not care. The old master gave you those shares to secure your future, not for you to stage a coup here. Especially you, second brother. What you are doing has deeply disappointed both me and the old master. Li Xiao's gaze turned icy. Why should the old master hand over such a vast family fortune to you? I refuse to accept it. The second master of the Li family roared angrily. Greed is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. The dividends from your shares are enough to support you for the rest of your life. I never expected you to demand even more. Li Xiao no longer wanted to look at his disappointing younger brother, especially since they were not even born of the same mother. That is right, second uncle. You should save your energy to take care of your daughter-in-law. If you waste it here, she might not be satisfied with your efforts anymore. Li Xixue chimed in at this moment, striking right at the heart of Second Master Li's insecurities. Many on Second Master Li's side could not hold back, and burst into laughter. Second Master Li's face flushed red with anger. What do you know, you little girl? Go play with your pretty boy. Oh, and by the way, second uncle, is the child your daughter-in-law gave birth to your son, or your grandson? You would not try to hide his identity, and let him compete with your shameless eldest son for the family inheritance, would you? Hearing Second Master Li dare to insult Gu Junqing, Li Xixue truly lost her temper. She had initially intended to spare her second uncle some face, but since he did not want it, and even dared to speak ill of Gu Junqing, she decided to expose his family secrets, leaving him humiliated before the entire Li family. Li Xixue's words shocked everyone present, and they all stared at Second Master Li. They knew he often fooled around with his daughter-in-law, and that their relationship seemed ambiguous. But they never imagined the child she gave birth to was actually Second Master Li's. The man standing beside Second Master Li, his son, turned pale upon hearing Li Xixue's words. Father, I tolerated you doing such things with my wife, but if I lose the money, my boyfriend Jack will break up with me. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow upon hearing this and turned to Li Xixue to ask. His boyfriend is a foreigner? Li Xixue loudly whispered. The people around cast strange looks at Second Master Li's son. Gu Junqing also shook his head, thinking that this son of Second Master Li probably had some gastrointestinal issues. Talk about going all the way. Through Li Xixue's words, the reputation of Second Master Li's family was thoroughly cemented. Everyone silently distanced themselves from the father and son. Although no one dared claim to be entirely blameless, they felt certain they could not sink to the level of Second Uncle Li's family. With Li Xixue having exposed Second Uncle Li's deepest secrets, he flew into a rage and immediately contacted his connections to sell off all her stocks. However, after the Li family patriarch fell critically ill, the company's stock price had plummeted. Even with his substantial shares, he did not manage to fetch much money. Other shareholders of Li family stocks, seeing Second Uncle Li selling off his holdings, hesitated briefly before deciding to follow suit. After all, the Li family was collapsing anyway. If they did not sell now, they would lose everything down to their last penny. They had all forgotten that these very shares had been gifted to them by the old patriarch, who had wanted to ensure they lived comfortably. Little did he expect to be threatened by these ungrateful relatives. Watching the Li family members' reactions on screen, the old patriarch closed his eyes in disappointment, secretly making a decision. Eldest brother, we have sold all our stocks. Just wait for bankruptcy. Second uncle Li sneered. Is that so? Then my promise has been fulfilled. Li Xiao took a deep breath and smiled as he saw Gu Junqing nod. If not for maintaining the act, he would have lost his composure long ago. The agreement he had signed with Gu Junqing was precisely to outmaneuver these relatives. Without them, the Li family would not have come to this. Seeing Li Xiao's unexpectedly joyful expression, second uncle Li frowned. Eldest brother, the Li family fortune is nearly ruined by you. How can you still smile? Li Xiao glanced at him sideways. Then he stepped forward and pointed at Gu Junqing. Do you really think he is just my son-in-law? He is the direct heir of the Gu family, young master Gu Junqing. Through his leadership, the Gu family will acquire 30% shares in the Li family enterprise. And that 30% just happens to be the shares you all sold. Li Xiao's words struck like thunder, shocking everyone who held Li family stocks. They quickly verified and discovered that the buyers were indeed companies bearing the Gu family name. Li Xiao, are you selling the Li family to the Gu family? The old patriarch would never agree. Second uncle Li began to regret his actions. Of course, he knew the Gu family. They were the leading power in Luodu. Although the Li and Gu families were both counted among the 4 great families, there was simply no comparison between them. The gap was too vast, they were not even fit to be compared. Is that so? I have already received the old patriarch's approval. Besides, having the Gu family hold shares is better than letting you blood-sucking mosquitoes drain the Li family dry. Li Xiao spoke deliberately, having been thoroughly disillusioned by his relatives' recent behavior. Their constant hints about whether the old patriarch had died and how to divide the inheritance had worn him down completely. Moreover, the Gu family will invest 10 billion in capital into the Li family. I do not need to elaborate on what this means for our future. Li Xiao snorted coldly. The more he had been pressured earlier, the more triumphant he felt now, finally venting his pent-up fury. Consider that the qualification threshold for entering the world's top 500 companies was just over 20 billion. The Gu family's investment amounted to half the value of a top-tier enterprise. This alone demonstrated the Gu family's influence and capital. They far surpassed the Li family, which barely clung to the bottom rankings. There was simply no comparison. How is this possible? How could that young man wield such power? Second uncle Li murmured in disbelief. Then it suddenly occurred to him, Li Xiao, how are you any better than me? You must have sold your daughter to him too. Second uncle Li was deeply shaken, and threw all caution to the wind. Chapter 135. Li Xiao felt somewhat embarrassed this time. After all, the actual situation really was not much different from selling off his daughter. Moreover, Xixue is still engaged, is she not? Does Sichen know that you are so eager to sell off your own daughter? And the Gu family is only on equal footing with our Li family. Why should they possess shares of our Li family? Second Master Li snorted coldly. Since Li Xiao was not making things easy for him, he would not make things easy for Li Xiao either. Just as Li Xiao was about to respond, Gu Junqing stopped him and stepped forward. He looked coldly at Second Master Li. First of all, Xixue has already broken off her engagement with Sichen. Besides, Xixue and I are in a normal boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. This has nothing to do with selling anyone. And Second Master Li, have you been channeling all your energy into venting on your daughter-in-law? Haven't you heard of my reputation? Gu Junqing shook his head. He had not originally intended to show off and slap faces like some protagonist would, but he really could not stand watching this Li family farce any longer. Would it not be better to spend this time getting intimate with the female leads, engaging in some negative distance contact? May I deal with this brother of yours? Gu Junqing turned to look at Li Xiao, his eyes somewhat cold. For some reason, Li Xiao felt a chill from Gu Junqing's gaze and a sense of fear. Why had the same person changed so dramatically? Meanwhile, Yue Jinlian grew inexplicably excited seeing Gu Junqing's expression. She felt that if she could stir this mysterious man's interest, it would be incredibly thrilling. It would be like dancing on the edge of a knife, with the constant risk of falling. This would surely bring new vitality to her stagnant life. Not knowing what else to say, Li Xiao could only agree. He felt that he, as the father-in-law, had completely lost face in front of his son-in-law. Of course, he did not dare to demand respect either. Now he finally understood why so many people found Gu Junqing terrifying. A single look from him could make you feel like you had fallen into an ice cellar. Then take him away. Gu Junqing waved his hand, and some subordinates who had come with him dragged Second Master Li out. Although the farce was quite amusing, Gu Junqing had grown tired of watching it. The others, witnessing Second Master Li's fate, trembled with fear, and did not dare speak another word. They were afraid that any remark might offend this king of hell who could decide their life or death with a single word. As for Second Master Li's family, with his downfall and disappearance, the entire household naturally fell apart. The daughter-in-law that Second Master Li had been so obsessed with also ran away. She fled together with his son's boyfriend. It was only at this point that Second Master Li's son discovered the truth about his family. It turned out that his son was not his father's son, but rather his boyfriend's son. He had once asked his wife why their son was so dark. His wife had claimed it was because she sunbathed extensively during pregnancy, affecting the baby. The key point was that he had actually believed her. Now, after learning the truth, he completely broke down. Because he could no longer make sense of the relationships, his wife had cheated on him, his father had committed taboo with his wife, his boyfriend had slept with his wife, and his child was neither his nor his father's, but his boyfriend's. He felt like the entire world had betrayed him. Even Gu Junqing later became curious about their family situation. After reading their family report, he fell silent and sighed. He remarked, "Your circle is truly chaotic." But all this would come later. Li Xiao watched as second Uncle Li was dragged out, still feeling somewhat reluctant in his heart. After all, he was still his younger brother. Gu Junqing could tell what Li Xiao was thinking just by looking at his expression. He shook his head. "Uncle Li, it is precisely because you are too indecisive that today's palace coup scenario occurred. Make some arrangements. As I predicted, old Master Li will not allow you to hold power anymore." After speaking, Gu Junqing went to the adjacent restaurant with Li Xixue, leaving Li Xiao alone to think things through. The Li family members had all dispersed, seemingly symbolizing that the Li family had completely bid farewell to the past. The coming era would be entirely different. Li Xiao remained silent for a moment, sighed, and then also entered the restaurant. His personality truly was not suited to leading such a massive Li family. One could say he bore half the responsibility for the Li family's current state. Having put down the heavy burden of the Li family, it was as if his backbone had been removed, his energy and spirit had completely changed. Despite only being middle-aged, his back had already begun to hunch slightly. However, he was still the head of the family, and could not completely abandon himself. Li Xiao entered his family's restaurant. The Li family was accustomed to large family gatherings, so they used a Chinese-style round table, rather than a Western rectangular one. Even though many people had left, those who remained still filled the enormous round table. Seeing that the fully occupied round table had saved the main seat for him, he understood that Gu Junqing did not want to sit there. After a moment of silence, he still sat down with a smile on his face. To Gu Junqing's left sat Li Xixue. Originally, no one dared to sit on his right, but when Yue Jinlian saw this, she directly came over and sat there. "Yue Jinlian, you should sit at the front. We do not drink alcohol here. You should not be sitting with the children," Li Xixue said discontentedly. "Well, there is nothing to be done. I only want to sit next to this handsome man." Yue Jinlian spread her hands, indicating she could not help it. "You," Li Xixue was furious. "Do you not have any dignity as an elder? Is that so? I wonder who, as a child, refused to call me concubine, crying every day to call me Sister Yu instead. Now you are talking to me about being an elder. Is this how you treat your elders?" Yue Jinlian slowly wiped her utensils, with a hint of a smile and nostalgia in her expression. Her words left Li Xixue speechless, stewing in silent anger by herself. Gu Junqing suddenly understood. He finally knew where Li Xixue had learned her speaking skills. Even with the ability to render both Luo Ningyu and Murong Wan speechless single-handedly, while taking on two opponents, she could not outtalk Yue Jinlian. So she had met her match. No wonder Li Xixue could not win against Yue Jinlian. Just as Li Xixue wanted to argue further, Li Xiao stood up to speak, forcing Li Xixue to remain silent. "Today is a sorrowful day for our Li family. Among our 20 senior executives, we had to dismiss 13 today. Look at these 13 people. Which of them were not relatives and friends of the Li family? Which of them were not pillars of the Li family? Yet now they have come to this end. I bear the primary responsibility for this. I have failed the Li family and let down the old master. I wish I could dismiss myself. And to the rest of you, I know some of you may desire the family assets even more than they do. I am speaking from the bottom of my heart when I advise you to seriously consider that these things represent the lifeblood of our Li family. My father never treated any of you unfairly. You should all turn your hearts, lungs, and intestines inside out, air them, wash them, and put them in proper order. I have said what I needed to say. Let's begin our meal." After Li Xiao finished speaking, he took his seat. The members of the Li family fell into silence, even those considered part of Li Xiao's faction. They too needed to carefully contemplate the future path of the Li family. Chapter 136. It is quite normal for every family to have factional struggles. Contradiction is the source and driving force of development, and the mutual struggle and unity between these contradictions are what propel matters forward. However, when critical moments arise, if a family cannot unite as one, and instead engages in internal strife, it will only deplete the family's strength and push it toward peril. The idea that one must secure the internal before resisting the external is not always the truth. The members of the Li family fell silent for a moment, reflecting on whether they had any vulnerabilities that could be exploited. After realizing they had no such weaknesses, they breathed a sigh of relief. Then, it occurred to them that with so many members of the Li family stepping down, those who would take their places would inevitably be from Li Xiao's faction. The Li family members grew excited again, discussing among themselves which positions they wanted. The banquet once again became lively. Li Xiao shook his head and smiled wryly. Their reflection had lasted only a few minutes before they grew restless again. Perhaps he truly lacked authority. Gu Junqing paid no attention to the Li family members and focused on his meal. Suddenly, he felt something rubbing against his leg under the tablecloth, causing a slight itch. At first, he did not pay it much mind. But as the rubbing grew more persistent, Gu Junqing had no choice but to reach under the table to see what it was. His hand touched what felt like the upper part of a shoe, a high heel gently massaging him with its sole. It seemed to be testing something. At first, Gu Junqing thought it was an accidental touch. But later, he realized that even when he moved his leg away, it followed him, as if it had a tracker attached. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. It seemed someone was trying to seduce him. He grabbed the shoe and held her slender ankle. Sure enough, the person, sensing Gu Junqing touching her foot, trembled with excitement in his grasp. He initially thought it was Li Xixue trying to play a flirtatious game with him. But when he glanced at Li Xixue, he found her completely unaware, focused solely on her meal. Noticing Gu Junqing's gaze, she tilted her head in confusion. Gu Junqing understood and gestured for her to continue eating. He deduced that only two people could be responsible. Li Xixue on his left or Yue Jinlian on his right. Since it was not Li Xixue, it had to be Yue Jinlian. Gu Junqing caressed her calf, his hand gliding over the smooth, silky texture of what felt like sheer stockings. A smile flickered in Gu Junqing's eyes. The sheer stockings confirmed it was Yue Jinlian, as her black stockings had caught his attention earlier. Although Yue Jinlian had never been touched by Li Xiao, in fact, he had barely even seen her. She was in name Li Xixue's stepmother. Now, with her husband still gloomily eating at the table, she was using her foot to seduce him underneath. Gu Junqing sighed. If they were discovered, he would likely feel too embarrassed to ever visit the Li family again. Reluctantly, he released the silky calf, though not before giving it a gentle squeeze, savoring the smoothness. Then, he turned to see Yue Jinlian's face flushed with a hint of surprise. He had assumed Yue Jinlian was experienced, but with just a few touches and squeezes, she already seemed overwhelmed. This Jinlian was truly lacking. If it were the Jinlian from the Song dynasty, she would likely have been much bolder. When Yue Jinlian noticed the faint trace of mockery in Gu Junqing's gaze, she instantly flared up. As Gu Junqing continued eating, he felt Yue Jinlian slide her delicate foot toward him again. Amusement sparkled in his eyes, as it seemed this woman was not one to admit defeat easily. But this time, the situation was different. She had even taken off her high heels, and her black stockinged feet now rested on Gu Junqing's lap, teasing his nerves. Truth be told, this stirred a certain restlessness in Gu Junqing. Since such a tempting offer had been delivered right to him, refusing was never his style. So, he began to caress her black stockinged feet with deliberate, lingering touches. After all, good things come to those who wait. Gu Junqing suddenly seized Yue Jinlian's exquisite foot, startling her into a noticeable jolt. This caught Li Xixue's attention, and she asked, "What is wrong, old lady? Do you need me to feed you?" Li Xixue always felt the urge to bicker with Yue Jinlian whenever she saw her, as it was how she honed her sharp tongue. Her verbal skills had grown formidable enough to rival Gu Junqing's silver-tongued eloquence and his ability to debate circles around scholars. Of course, this was also their unique way of showing concern for each other. Some forms of care are always hidden in the most casual of moments. Yue Jinlian's face flushed slightly as she managed a double-edged retort. No need. Why trouble the young mistress? There is already someone attending to me. Li Xixue eyed her suspiciously but, finding nothing amiss, turned back to her meal. Gu Junqing smiled inwardly, noting that when it came to playing with feet, the title of master undoubtedly belonged to Zhang Wuji, leader of the Ming cult. Even the clever and spirited Min Junzi could not resist Zhang's advances. But with such a renowned predecessor setting the example, how could Gu Junqing lag behind? He decided to follow the script and mimic what he had read. Yue Jinlian did not know what Gu Junqing intended, but with her foot firmly in his grasp, being toyed with so freely, she grew flustered. This was her first attempt at seduction, after all. What are you doing? I will not dare again, she cooed breathlessly, her words punctuated by uneven gasps. Gu Junqing lifted her entire black-stockinged leg onto his lap, holding it firmly in place. Then, with a single finger, he pressed into the center of her foot, channeling a thread of inner energy into the acupoint there. Yue Jinlian's body instantly trembled beyond her control, shuddering faintly. She could bear it no longer. Her eyes pleaded with Gu Junqing in desperation, not daring to utter a word. She feared that if she spoke, she would not be able to hold back her moans. Gu Junqing, of course, knew how to gauge the pressure perfectly. He was well aware that this was far from Yue Jinlian's limit. Ignoring her silent pleas, he continued stimulating her acupoint. After all, he had already let her off once, and there was no way he would do so a second time. Turning his head, Gu Junqing asked Li Xixue to serve him some food. Li Xixue readily agreed, but as she turned, she noticed Yue Jinlian's flushed face and tightly shut eyes, as if enduring something intense. Though puzzled, her top priority remained satisfying Gu Junqing. The Li family members around the table were engrossed in lively conversation, while Li Xiao sullenly drowned his sorrows in alcohol. No one noticed that the Li family concubine was being teased relentlessly by Gu Junqing. Gu Junqing could feel Yue Jinlian's delicate toes curling tightly from the overwhelming pleasure. He transmitted his voice directly into Yue Jinlian's ear using his inner energy. Still dare to try? Yue Jinlian shook her head frantically, signaling that she would not dare provoke Gu Junqing again. Gu Junqing felt the changes in Yue Jinlian's body and realized she truly could not hold on much longer, so he released her black-stockinged feet. Speaking of which, a top-tier beauty like Yue Jinlian not only carried the rich fragrance of a virgin all over her body, but also exuded a hint of seductive allure. Even compared to the female leads, she was not inferior in the slightest. Chapter 137. After being released by Gu Junqing, Yue Jinlian hastily withdrew her foot, hurriedly stood up, and retreated into the bathroom. Gu Junqing smiled and scooped 2 spoonfuls of dishes for Li Xixue. Then, he casually spilled a glass of water onto Yue Jinlian's chair to conceal the suspicious wet stain. He had not expected Yue Jinlian to perspire so much. Of course, Gu Junqing was not faring much better. After stimulating Yue Jinlian to the point of sweating, he had essentially warmed up as well. This level of a mature woman is truly something else. He thought to himself, indeed, I possess the qualities of a formidable figure. Chancellor, I have attained enlightenment. Especially in such a situation, playing with Yue Jinlian's feet brought a unique thrill. After all, Li Xiao was still present at the scene. Li Xixue took the opportunity to approach, wanting to feed Gu Junqing. She felt she could spend her whole life feeding her beloved partner like this. Xixue, come to my room tonight. I will show you something interesting. Gu Junqing leaned close to her ear, his breath warm against her skin. The ambiguity in his words instantly made her eyes seductive and dreamy. Really? What do you want to do? What do you think I want to do? Gu Junqing's eyes sparkled with amusement. I think you bad guy probably want to have your way with me. She nibbled on his ear. Li Xiao, who had been watching the two closely from the dining table, felt a pang of sourness in his heart. Having let go of his ambitions for power, he now only wished to return to family life. Watching his daughter flirt with another man, he felt waves of bitterness welling up inside him. After a while, Yue Jinlian returned to her seat. One of Li Xiao's relatives had long been captivated by Yue Jinlian's beauty and her alluring figure. He believed she must be an exceptional beauty, with a voluptuous body paired with exquisite features. If he could share her bed and become a subject at her feet, he would be willing to give up anything. Moreover, he knew Li Xiao did not care for Yue Jinlian and likely would not pay her much mind. He had secretly mocked Li Xiao many times, thinking that if he had a woman like Yue Jinlian, he could keep her in bed every day. With the recent shifts in power within the Li family, today presented a perfect opportunity to ask for her. Family head, I have a request to make. The relative clasped his hands respectfully. What is it? If it is about assets again, do not bother mentioning it. Li Xiao frowned. No, I wish to ask for a woman. A lecherous smile spread across the relative's face. Hearing it was not about property, Li Xiao relaxed. Go on, who are you asking for? After all, he was still a relative, and this time he had firmly stood by Li Xiao's side. If it was a simple request, Li Xiao could grant it. It is your concubine, Miss Yue Jinlian. The relative's pig-like face revealed a look of lust. Yue Jinlian had just sat down when she heard that a fat pig desired her. She frowned but remained silent, knowing that as a woman, she had no place to speak in such a scenario. This only made her want to escape this prison-like place even more. Li Xiao pondered for a moment. He did not value Yue Jinlian much, mainly because he was somewhat afraid of her. He felt his body was very weak now, and even his morning salute from his second brother had stopped coming. With such a physique, even looking at a seductive woman like Yue Jinlian made his legs feel weak. He never dared to glance at her a second time, even though he knew she was a peerless beauty. In the past, for the sake of the Li family and his own power, he would have even sold his own daughter, let alone Yue Jinlian. But after today's events, he was no longer willing to sacrifice so much. Jinlian, are you willing? Li Xiao asked. A flicker of humiliation and embarrassment crossed Yue Jinlian's face. Anyone in such a position, with their fate seemingly held in another's hands, would feel the same. Having one's life and death decided by a single word is never easy to accept. Moreover, these two men were treating her like a commodity right in front of everyone. Yue Jinlian clenched her small fists. She had no choice, which was why she had been sent here, but she wondered if she still had no control over her own destiny. No need for her to answer. I can tell you, she definitely does not want to go with you, you fat pig. To Yue Jinlian's surprise, the one who stood up to speak for her was Li Xixue. Seriously, with a body like a fat pig and already 50 years old, how can you have the nerve to ask for such a delicate young girl? Aren't you afraid of dying in bed? Li Xixue's eyebrows shot up in anger. For some reason, she sensed Yue Jinlian's humiliation. She stood up and lashed out without hesitation. The relative's face stiffened as he tried to speak. Xixue, my niece, get lost. Hearing my name from your mouth makes me sick. You look like a half-orc. I suggest you stay home and behave, because pigs are not allowed to run loose on the streets. Li Xixue continued to berate the man. Brother Li Xiao, I have been running around for your Li family for a long time, and put in a lot of effort. All I am asking for is one woman. Seeing that he was no match for Li Xixue, the man turned to the more even-tempered Li Xiao. He did not dare argue with her, fearing Gu Junqing might intervene. The memory of how second Uncle Li had been dragged away was still vivid in his mind. Li Xiao felt anger when he saw the man still daring to threaten him. Enough, did you not hear what Xixue said? When she tells you to get lost, you get lost. It was Gu Junqing who finally spoke. Hearing his words, the relative could only slink away dejectedly. Did you not hear me? I said to roll out. Gu Junqing picked up a bite of food with his chopsticks, his expression unchanged. His words were like a royal decree. The man had no choice but to obey, and over 300 pounds of flesh rolled out of the Li family compound like a ball. Everyone fell silent, not daring to speak, as they watched the man who had been so full of himself moments ago exit the dining hall. Yue Jinlian glanced at Gu Junqing and Li Xixue, her usually charming eyes slightly moist. She made a silent resolution. She must become stronger, and not let others control her destiny. In the past, she had no choice, but with the support of Gu Junqing and Li Xixue, she could now have it all. Chapter 138. After the feast, Gu Junqing returned to the room arranged for him by the Li family. Li Xixue had already returned to her own room to prepare. Meanwhile, Li Xiao was in the sick room of the Li family's patriarch. Father, that is how things unfolded. Gu Junqing and I schemed against those ungrateful wolves once, and the shares are part of the agreement between Gu Junqing and me. Li Xiao slowly recounted the day's events. You have done well enough, but your character is too indecisive, easily led by others. Perhaps you are truly not suited for the position of the Li family's patriarch. The Li family patriarch sighed. However, this Gu Junqing is indeed somewhat terrifying. Perhaps all of Luodu is now operating according to his plans. Li Xiao's expression turned serious. Father, have you discovered something? Through our Li family's intelligence channels, we have uncovered recent shifts in the underground forces. It is likely Gu Junqing is manipulating things from behind the scenes. And now the Li family has also fallen into his grasp. Do you think the other two families will be exceptions? The old patriarch lay on the sickbed, smiling bitterly. Father, are you saying Gu Junqing intends to annex all the forces in Luodu? Li Xiao was somewhat horrified. If this were true, then the landscape of Luodu would truly change. I suspect it does not stop there. Gu Junqing will eventually extend his reach beyond. You must understand, unlike an old relic like me, he has just reached adulthood. The patriarch sighed with emotion. Moreover, you mentioned Gu Junqing is the disciple of the mysterious Master Zhu. Do you think a master would not support his own disciple? Taking sides early might be a good thing. At least we will not face reckoning later. Your agreement with Gu Junqing was the right move. Li Xiao fell silent. Originally, he could not see the current situation in Luodu clearly, but after the patriarch's words, it seemed as if he could discern a pair of large hands manipulating the entire operation of Luodu amidst its calm surface and undercurrents. Let us just watch for now. Give Gu Junqing whatever support he wants. And I think compared to you, it might be better to let Xixue take charge of the Li family. After all, it is the era of the younger generation now. Perhaps Gu Junqing's emergence is an omen. The old patriarch silently watched Li Xiao's decision, as he was now the legitimate helmsman of the Li family. All right, father. We two old fellows will retreat behind the scenes and offer counsel to Xixue. Moreover, with Gu Junqing's support, she will sit in this position more securely than I ever could. If only she were a boy, Li Xiao lamented. After relinquishing power, he could finally live his own life. You rascal, you are only middle-aged and calling yourself an old fellow? No respect for your elders. The patriarch scolded with a laugh. Whether it is pedantic or not, if Xixue bears Gu Junqing a son, could we not bring him back to be raised in the Li family? Li Xiao's eyes lit up. Ginger is indeed spicier when old. Father, you really are a crafty old fox. Perhaps the Li and Gu families could truly merge then. Li Xiao's words nearly caused the old patriarch to choke on his laughter. Get out, get out. Do not stand there annoying me. You should go check on your daughter. If you do not, I suspect she will offer herself to him tonight. The patriarch ordered Li Xiao to get out of his sight. Upon hearing this, Li Xiao's face changed dramatically, and he hurried out the door. Li Xixue had washed herself until she was fragrant and tidied up in front of the mirror. Underneath her clothes, she wore the lingerie she had specially bought for Gu Junqing. Dressed like this, she stepped out, intending to offer him her first time. But as soon as Li Xixue took a step out of her room, she found her father, who usually paid little attention to her, standing at the door. Father, what are you doing here? Li Xixue asked, somewhat puzzled. Nothing much. It has just been a long time since we last talked. I have something very important to tell you. It concerns the future of the Li family, and this is something your grandfather asked me to relay to you. Come, let us go to your grandfather's place and discuss it slowly. Seeing how urgently Xiao seemed, Li Xixue fell silent for a moment, but eventually agreed. After all, aside from insisting that she marry Su Chen, Li Xiao had always treated her quite well. At least he never interfered with her studies or other pursuits. Junqing, I am sorry. I will come back to you later. Thinking an apology in her heart, Li Xixue followed Li Xiao to her grandfather's place. Unbeknownst to her, Li Xiao, with his back turned to her, wiped away a sweat. That was close. I almost ended up giving Gu Junqing that kid company shares and my daughter too, nearly suffering a double loss. Li Xiao felt immensely relieved at successfully intercepting Li Xixue, but he had no idea that his words would turn out to be prophetic. It truly was a double loss, except the daughter in this case was wife Yue Jinlian. Gu Junqing was meditating in his room when he suddenly heard the sound of the door opening, closing, and locking. He had intentionally left the door slightly ajar for Li Xixue, so it was not fully shut. Gu Junqing did not open his eyes, as he was playing along with the seductive game. He felt a delicate figure slowly climb onto his bed and move behind him. Then, he sensed an alluring body, like a seductive serpent, slowly winding around his waist, and trailing up his spine with a gentle caress. Is Xixue this playful? Gu Junqing wondered. Gradually, Gu Junqing's head was enveloped in shadow, and he could not help but marvel inwardly. As expected of the Li family's eldest daughter, truly well endowed, Gu Junqing could only feel that this woman possessed an astonishing curvature, with an exceptionally graceful and alluring figure. Has Xixue been eating better lately? If I recall correctly, she was not at this level before. Moreover, this scent does not seem like Xixue's. It is more like that of. As an experienced man, Gu Junqing could gauge a woman's measurements and age just by her natural fragrance and a glance. And this was not just a glance. Gu Junqing was using his body to sense the woman's enchanting form, making him even more certain that this woman likely was not Li Xixue. Feeling the woman shift from behind him to his front, Gu Junqing opened his eyes. he discovered that the woman before him was none other than Yue Jinlian. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. It was indeed this seductive serpent, as such a captivating aura was clearly not something the freshly adult Li Xixue could exude. Yue Jinlian still had a faint mist of water on her, evidently having rushed over right after bathing. A flawless figure filled Gu Junqing's vision, one hand lightly covering her front, pressing out astonishing curves. A few stray strands of hair combined with that enchanting, seductive face created a breathtaking beauty and soul-stirring allure. Gu Junqing was having a hard time resisting. Though he was always willing to help others and knew how to repay kindness, doing this with his father-in-law's young wife still gave him some psychological shadows. After all, even Cao would not go this far. He only told his subordinate, "I will take care of your wife and daughter." Now Gu Junqing was about to tell Li Xiao, his own father-in-law, "I will take care of your wife and daughter." Was that not going too far? Although Yue Jinlian and Li Xiao had never actually been intimate. So hard to resist, so hard to resist. Chapter 139. Gu Junqing composed himself, reining in his somewhat agitated state of mind. "Auntie, please do not be like this. If it is that important, I will pour you a cup of cappuccino instead." Gu Junqing smiled wryly. He sat on the bed in a meditative posture, like an old Buddha. Yue Jinlian's gaze grew increasingly captivating and alluring as she approached, gently stroking Gu Junqing's handsome face. "I told you, do not call me auntie. Call me sister. Little brother, your looks truly fascinate me." "Sis, I was wrong. Please do not be like this. I really do not want to be acupuncture tonight," Gu Junqing said with some distress. "Oh, is that so?" Yue Jinlian chuckled coyly in a sisterly tone. She leaned in and blew softly by Gu Junqing's ear. "Naughty little brother, your mouth says no, but your body is being quite honest." "Oh, really?" Gu Junqing's attitude began to shift. He raised an eyebrow, his expression turning serious. "Speak. What do you want? I do not believe you came to ambush me at night just because it is our first meeting. Do you think this is some widow village night raid?" Seeing that Gu Junqing had laid things out plainly, Yue Jinlian knew he would not be easily seduced. After a moment of silence, she got up and sat in Gu Junqing's lap, leaning against his chest as she began to recount slowly. "Back then, my father owed a lot of gambling debts. When the debt collectors came to our house and saw how beautiful I was, they wanted to take me away and sell me to repay the debts. Fortunately, my father thought my potential was worth more than that, so he sold me to the Li family in exchange for a large sum of money. To this day, I still feel somewhat grateful that my father did not sell me directly to those gamblers, even if his intention was just to get a better price for me." After finishing this part of her past, her tone shifted slightly again. Gu Junqing did not speak. Countless people had suffered worse fates than hers, but did she expect him to help just because of this? He was no saint. "I thought everything would change after I entered the Li family, but it did not. That waste Li Xiao did not even have the courage to look at me. And today if I had really been given to that half-orc, I would rather die. So I must take control of my own destiny. I will not allow myself to be treated like a commodity, toyed with at will without any means of resistance." Yue Jinlian clenched her fist, speaking with determination. "Then why did you take Li Xixue to see all the filth of the Li family?" "Because only then can she protect herself. She was too pure and kind-hearted as a child, like a little angel." Yue Jinlian was momentarily stunned by Gu Junqing's question, but she quickly replied, a trace of tenderness flashing in her eyes. "When she was first sold into the Li family, only Li Xixue, like an angel, sought her out to play every day. The entire Li family treated her as if she were invisible, but only Li Xixue was willing to call her for meals, go out to play with her, and follow her around like a little shadow. That is why she showed Li Xixue all the dirt within the Li family, so she could learn to protect herself. Even if it meant being disliked, she would not regret it. She did not want Li Xixue to end up as miserable as she was." Gu Junqing nodded, seemingly convinced by her explanation. "Then why come to me? Would not Li Xiao be a better choice? Even if he does not like you now, if you appear in front of him often, he might agree to give you some authority. Li Xiao is nothing but a useless coward, indecisive and unmanly. I prefer someone young and handsome like you. And that frail look of his, on lonely nights, only a man like you, my dear Junqing, can satisfy me." After pouring out her tragic past, Yue Jinlian completely let go of her inhibitions. She had always been a woman unafraid to love or hate. "I can give you an opportunity. From now on, you and Li Xixue will jointly manage the Li family." Gu Junqing smiled, as this aligned perfectly with his own intentions. With his support, Li Xixue was bound to take control of the Li family, but she would need an ally to help her secure it. Yue Jinlian, who had grown up with Li Xixue, was clearly the most suitable and trustworthy choice. Women were always easier to manipulate than men, especially when they had something to ask of him. "Really?" Yue Jinlian lifted her head from Gu Junqing's embrace, looking at him with pleasant surprise. "That depends on your performance." Gu Junqing lifted her chin, his tone carrying a hint of mischief. Understanding his implication, Yue Jinlian gazed at him with seductive, alluring eyes. Knowing exactly what to do, her sinuous body gradually slid downward, pushing Gu Junqing onto the bed. A delicate, jade-like finger traced the contours of his chest. Then, with a graceful turn, she lay on her side, propping her chin with both hands. Her lazy, enchanting eyes blinked slightly, gazing at him with irresistible charm. Her fair, slender fingers gently swept through her long, silky hair as it cascaded down. She shifted her long, straight legs into a crossed position, as if extending an invitation to Gu Junqing. "My dear Gu, do you plan to take the lead?" or shall I? This series of movements nearly drove Gu Junqing wild. Yue Jinlian's attire was exquisitely alluring and provocative. Her jade-like peaks were half concealed, her slender waist accentuated, and her posture was utterly captivating. But the most enticing feature was her slightly parted red lips, as if inviting a kiss. Her inherently seductive aura and stunning figure were perfectly showcased by her attire. Languid and enchanting, her eyes seemed to speak, glistening with a teasing light that stirred Gu Junqing's heart. I, Gu Junqing, am a gentleman, always upright and honorable. Why do I keep encountering such women? How annoying. Does fate operate on some kind of algorithm? What a temptress, constantly testing my patience. Gu Junqing, having trained under Ji Zuyu, practiced orthodox Taoist techniques, and could be considered a young Taoist priest. Were you not just teasing me? Why are you hesitating now? Yue Jinlian slowly slipped off her nightgown, leaving only a sheer veil and barely their undergarments. Her fair skin, accentuated by the white gauze, grew even more bewitching and irresistible. Just the sight of it evoked a sense of smooth, delicate softness. Are you not afraid Xixue might come over later? Gu Junqing had not expected Yue Jinlian to dare tempt him so boldly, intending to engage in more intimate activities. He had initially planned to keep things light, especially since he had asked Li Xixue to come over that evening. Do not worry. I know Li Xixue was summoned by her father. Her father and grandfather definitely will not let her come over tonight. They are a bit afraid of you, the big bad wolf, who might snatch away their little Red Riding Hood in one bite. Yue Jinlian had already pressed herself against Gu Junqing. The cool, thin gauze could hardly conceal the delicacy of her skin. Her dark hair cascaded down, spilling across Gu Junqing's chest, its subtle fragrance alluring. Her exquisite, bewitching face was turned toward his, breathing out a scented whisper as she spoke in a soft, velvety voice. Hearing this, Gu Junqing felt relieved. After all, if Li Xixue were to come in and see him, and the concubine engaged in the act of passion, it would be rather difficult to explain. Chapter 140. Yue Jinlian had thrown caution to the wind. Her body had long been deprived, desperately needing a prolonged communion with Gu Junqing. Perhaps prolonged was not the right word either. It was more like an untrodden woodland path yearning for Gu Junqing to venture inside. Gu Junqing flipped over and pinned Yue Jinlian beneath him. Auntie, are you really a virgin? Gu Junqing gently caressed Yue Jinlian's cheek with one hand while the other wandered across her body. A flicker of shyness crossed Yue Jinlian's face. Despite considering herself mature, she could not withstand such tender strokes from Gu Junqing. Her eyes slightly closed, yet her mouth remained defiant. Still calling me auntie. So you're into this kind of roleplay? Would it excite you more if I said I've been touched before? Yue Jinlian opened her eyes, suppressing her embarrassment as a seductive glimmer flashed within them, as if seeing through Gu Junqing's heart. She chuckled coquettishly. Her soft voice rippled beside Gu Junqing's ear, making his heart tighten. He felt exposed. Though still fully clothed, he already felt completely naked before Yue Jinlian. Noticing Gu Junqing's physical reaction, Yue Jinlian murmured, my dear Gu, your body responds faster than your words. Logically, Yue Jinlian was the one begging Gu Junqing for help, yet on the bed, it felt like she had the upper hand. Was this the charm of a mature woman? Gu Junqing stroked Yue Jinlian's cheek, and decided it was better to render her speechless. Even Luo Ningyu struggled to outtalk Li Xixue, and Li Xixue had been taught by Yue Jinlian. Indeed, it was wiser not to banter with her. Directly plunging into silence her mouth, action before words, felt far more delightful. In that case, I won't hold back. This transgressive sensation intoxicated Yue Jinlian. The man atop her was Li Xixue's lover. Her gaze grew increasingly hazy as she surrendered to Gu Junqing's advances. Soon, the bed began rocking rhythmically as Gu Junqing and Yue Jinlian descended into chaos, their bodies entwined in relentless turbulence beyond control. An ancient saying goes, at 30 she's like a wolf, at 40 she's like a tiger, rooted to the earth yet capable of swallowing soil. The ancients spoke true. This was Gu Junqing's sole realization. Despite it being her first experience, she matched Gu Junqing move for move in an intense duel. Perhaps it was due to Yue Jinlian's earlier hardships, sold off by her birth father, scorned in her marital home, that left her heart filled with pent-up frustration. Now, all she wanted was to release it all. The narrow, tight waterway almost made Gu Junqing suspect Yue Jinlian was still an 18-year-old maiden. Fortunately, he was seasoned. Had it been an inexperienced young man, navigating that passage might have proven impossible. Yet, Yue Jinlian was indeed a virgin, which surprised Gu Junqing. It seemed Li Xiao was truly impotent. No wonder Li Xixue had spoken so ill of her father. Probably even Li Xixue's mother harbored resentment, whispering private grievances to her daughter. How could Li Xiao remain indifferent to such an enchanting, alluring woman? He was a disgrace to men. Then he could only redeem his manly dignity by doubling his efforts. Meanwhile, Li Xixue was receiving guidance from Li Xiao and the old masterly. What, Grandpa, you want me to take over the Li family? Li Xixue sprang up from her chair, a trace of confusion on her face. Ahem, yes, that's right. Old Masterly, whose illness had not fully recovered yet, spoke with a slight cough. But why? Li Xixue still could not believe why this was happening. Don't bother your grandfather anymore. Let me explain it to you. Li Xiao stood up. Is your relationship with Gu Junqing real, or just an act? Li Xiao wanted to confirm, fearing that his mischievous daughter might have invited a wolf into their home. Of course it's real. Li Xixue looked somewhat puzzled. Then it's settled. As long as your relationship with Gu Junqing is genuine, having you take charge of the Li family is the best possible arrangement. Gu Junqing is currently the largest shareholder of the Li family. And because we needed to save your grandfather, our family has submitted to him. We have no choice but to follow his orders. So if you're in charge of the Li family, presumably when Gu Junqing makes demands, he won't make things too difficult for you. Li Xiao explained everything to Li Xixue word by word. Moreover, now is the perfect time for a change in leadership. With so many people stepping down, there will inevitably be vacant positions. This makes it convenient for you to place trusted aides in these positions, allowing you to firmly control the company. Your grandfather and I will also be here to support you from behind the scenes. Worried that Li Xixue might refuse, Li Xiao spoke with sincere concern. Unexpectedly, Li Xixue jumped up excitedly, leaving Li Xiao and old Master Li exchanging bewildered glances. They had thought that as a young woman, Li Xixue might be unwilling to take on this responsibility. They had prepared to persuade her with reason and emotion, never expecting her to agree so easily. You agree? Li Xiao still could not quite believe it. Yes. This way I can help Brother Junqing, Li Xixue said happily, feeling that as long as she could assist Gu Junqing and not hold him back, she would be very content. Li Xiao facepalmed. The reason he agreed to let Li Xixue take over was so that Gu Junqing would consider her feelings and not make the Li family do anything too difficult. He never expected that Li Xixue would be so biased toward an outsider. Probably even if Gu Junqing did not ask, she would eagerly rush to help him anyway. For a moment, Li Xiao could not tell whether this decision was good or bad. He could only stand there with a bitter smile. Well, I'm leaving now. I'm going to tell Brother Junqing this good news. As Li Xixue finished speaking and turned to leave, Li Xiao's expression changed dramatically. He knew that if she went, she probably would not come back. He quickly stopped her. Daughter, we still have some matters here for you to understand. Please sit down first. I need to discuss some personnel issues in the company with you. Oh. As the newly appointed leader, Li Xixue felt she should not oppose her father's authority, so she obediently sat down. After all, she could always tell Brother Junqing tomorrow. Little did she know that her beloved Junqing brother was currently burying himself in hard work. Chapter 141. Gu Junqing was lost in the depths of Yue Jinlian's omen of great assets, feeling himself sinking deeper and increasingly unable to extricate himself. Yue Jinlian had too many tricks up her sleeve, likely from frequently watching those action-packed romance films. Among all the women Gu Junqing had encountered so far, she had the most varied and inventive techniques. No other woman could compare. Yue Jinlian breathed softly into Gu Junqing's ear, her eyes seductive and alluring. Darling Gu, what is wrong? Are you already spent? Yue Jinlian melted bonelessly into Gu Junqing's embrace, her fair jade-like arms wrapping around his neck with enchanting grace. She occasionally nuzzled against his chest, greedily inhaling the scent of the man holding her. Perhaps because Yue Jinlian was not a main heroine and lacked martial arts enhancements, the effects of the Yellow Emperor's inner cannon were not fully utilized, barely meeting the demands. This left Gu Junqing somewhat strained, as he had already given his all several times. This was the first time Gu Junqing found himself at a disadvantage. Yue Jinlian, like parched land welcoming sweet rain, frantically and greedily absorbed everything he had to offer. Like a juice-squeezing demon, even Gu Junqing, who was usually a pile driver, found it hard to keep up. Darling Gu, I want more. I still have a whole set of Away's 18 techniques I have not used yet. After a brief rest, Yue Jinlian began pestering Gu Junqing again, licking her lips seductively as she spoke. She was like Eve tasting the forbidden fruit for the first time, insatiable in her demands, unafraid of exhausting herself. Like a starving great shark, her appetite was immense. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. There were still so many tricks, but it was just as well. Recently, he had not been intimate with Yue Jinlian much, having cultivated and rested for a long time, which allowed him to satisfy Yue Jinlian's shark-like appetite. Otherwise, Gu Junqing might have been completely defeated rather than just slightly disadvantaged. After all, the Yellow Emperor's inner cannon was not invincible, and the physical exertion could not keep up with the technique's operation. Yue Jinlian lifted her head slightly, leaning over Gu Junqing's body. Her dark hair cascaded down, obscuring the view of her bosom. Her brows carried a heart-stirring sweetness and the charming allure of a newlywed. Her dark, narrow eyes gazed at Gu Junqing with a smile, their slight movements causing her long, curled eyelashes to tremble. Her thin lips parted as she blew a soft breath toward Gu Junqing. Darling Gu, could it be that you have reached your limit? Are you no longer capable? Yue Jinlian's tone carried clear amusement as she lazily kissed Gu Junqing, trying to rekindle his fighting spirit. Hearing this, Gu Junqing immediately refused to back down. A man could never admit he was incapable. You wicked woman, do you not know that good things take time? Gu Junqing flipped over and pinned Yue Jinlian beneath him, glaring at her with indignation. Her relentless pursuit of perfection, to be honest, was really testing Gu Junqing's limits. Indeed, the field never wears out, but the ox may die from exhaustion. The ancients truly did not deceive us. Witch, bring out all your tricks, or I will strike you down with my rod. Then followed another bout of passionate entanglement. Downstairs, Li Xiao was still instructing Li Xixue on company personnel matters. You can use this person. I promoted him myself. He is a very honest young man who can serve as your confidant. Li Xiao was pointing out names on a list one by one to Li Xixue. All right, father, you have been talking for hours. I understand already. If we keep talking, it will be dawn. Li Xixue was somewhat displeased, as she still wanted to hurry over to Gu Junqing's place to get some sleep. The initial excitement of taking over the Li family had almost completely faded with the passage of time and Li Xiao's earnest teachings. If it were not for the fear of missing something important, like the Li family's hidden forces, she would have long lost her patience. And now he was starting to talk about personnel management, as if she did not know how to handle people. Even Su Chen was used like a beast of burden by her. Li Xixue thought somewhat smugly. Su Chen had manipulated her father, Li Xiao, with ease, yet Li Xixue could treat Su Chen like a beast of burden. This clearly showed the difference in their vision and ability to grasp human nature. Of course, Li Xixue's status as a goddess also played a significant advantage, as there was probably no shortage of simps in today's society. Perhaps Li Xixue's rise to power could also restore the Li family's glory. Just like the Gu family, though Gu Junqing had taken the Gu family to new heights, Li Xiao felt both emotional and relieved, emotional that he might truly be getting old, and relieved that his daughter seemed capable of making something of herself. As for his daughter's mathematical and other academic abilities, the leader of a major family needed to grasp the big picture, not just computational skills. It was like the captain of a large ship only needing to steer the vessel's direction, without having to row the oars himself. Such tasks would naturally be handled by others. Li Xixue only needed to maintain a good relationship with Gu Junqing, steer the course, and ensure the Li family did not sink. As for other trivial matters, he, the old man, could still handle some of them. All right, father, look, it is already dawn. Let us talk about anything else next time. I am exhausted. Li Xixue pretended to be very tired and yawned. Li Xiao was still somewhat reluctant to let his daughter go, but there was nothing he could do, as his daughter was determined to turn her elbow outward. But it was just as well. Li Xiao looked out the window. The sky was already growing light, and sunlight pierced through the dawn clouds, illuminating the earth. This way, they probably would not do anything inappropriate. At most, they would just sleep holding each other. Li Xiao comforted himself. Little did he know that Yue Jinlian had already been holding Gu Junqing all night, and had engaged in deep communication, successfully achieving a profound bond. Of course, if he had known, he would not have known what to think. Fine, go get some sleep. After a moment's thought, Li Xiao decided to let Li Xixue go upstairs to sleep and waved his hand. He still needed to sit here for a while and ponder the path ahead. Li Xixue stood up cheerfully, and was about to go upstairs. Noticing her father sitting alone in the living room, lost in thought, she sighed, worried he might catch a chill. She hurried to the storage cabinet, took out a green scarf, a green hat, and a blanket, and draped them over Li Xiao's head and shoulders. This made Li Xiao look somewhat green. Li Xixue burst out laughing, finding her father's appearance rather comical. She waved to Li Xiao and went upstairs to find Gu Junqing. Seeing how caring his daughter was, even specially fetching him a scarf, hat, and blanket, Li Xiao felt somewhat comforted. It seems Xixue is gradually forgiving me after all. Li Xiao sighed. He knew Li Xixue had been at odds with him over her marriage arrangements, but he truly had no other choice. Not only was the matter resolved now, but his daughter was also gradually beginning to forgive him, so he was still quite happy. Gu Junqing really is a good person. If it were not for him this time, the Li family would likely have faced great difficulties. Li Xiao decided that tomorrow, he must properly thank Gu Junqing. Chapter 142. Gu Junqing's room. Before Li Xixue went upstairs, Yue Jinlian had already collapsed exhaustedly onto Gu Junqing. Although she had just tasted the forbidden fruit, and was beginning to understand its sweetness, her physical condition was far inferior to Gu Junqing's. At first, she could somewhat restrain Gu Junqing with her innate seductive physique, but after a whole night, her energy and stamina could no longer keep up with Gu Junqing's. She had to plead with Gu Junqing for a long time, before he finally released her. When Gu Junqing shifted his leg, Yue Jinlian flinched and scrambled backward in fear. She was like a startled bird. Darling Gu, no more. Even a production team's donkey wouldn't dare work this hard. Yue Jinlian's delicate hair was damp with sweat. Her fair and tender body was dotted with cherry red marks. Is that so? If I recall correctly, there are still a few moves from the away 18 techniques we haven't tried yet. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. His eyes were filled with amusement as he gazed at Yue Jinlian's limp form on top of him, teasing her. Almost looked down upon by the beauty, he now felt thoroughly satisfied. This young bull had successfully plowed the field over and over, finally taming Yue Jinlian, the insatiable shark. He had long heard the saying that oysters cure all ailments, and now he truly understood it. After this bout of exercise, both his body and mind felt immensely refreshed. Although Gu Junqing had initially been at a disadvantage when it came to endurance, who could match his stamina? So, still dare say I'm not good enough? Yue Jinlian was so tired she could barely keep her eyes open. She was drowsy and no longer dared to act recklessly with Gu Junqing. She had initially underestimated him, given the obvious differences in age and gender. She never imagined that Gu Junqing could possibly satisfy her. I don't dare anymore. But this time, I'm just too tired. Next time, I'll make sure you fully experience the away 18 techniques. Yue Jinlian conceded, though her words remained defiant, determined to fight another day. Your mouth is so stubborn. Would you like to taste something even harder? Seeing that Yue Jinlian still refused to admit defeat, Gu Junqing deliberately spoke in a seductive tone. He traced the shape of Yue Jinlian's lips with his fingers, as if searching for the perfect spot to start. Yue Jinlian rolled her eyes, knowing Gu Junqing was just joking. Darling Gu, don't forget about me. After a moment's thought, Yue Jinlian turned over and nestled into Gu Junqing's chest, resting her head on his shoulder. Though she appeared seductive and passionate on the surface, she was actually quite innocent. Her intimacy with Gu Junqing wasn't entirely for her own sake. She was genuinely curious about him. Watching Gu Junqing's indifferent demeanor in the hall, and his ability to decide life and death with a single word, was like witnessing the brilliance of silk robes. Even in silence, he shone brightly wherever he was. Wherever Gu Junqing appeared, in Yue Jinlian's eyes, he was the only one there. She could feel her body heating up, her hormones and dopamine surging simultaneously. And after tonight's passionate encounter with Gu Junqing, she felt she had fallen madly in love with him. Especially his handsome face, broad chest, and tall, elegant figure. Everything about him captivated her. This was why Yue Jinlian, who had never actively seduced anyone before, dared to tempt Gu Junqing with her foot in public. It was her first time encountering a man who fascinated her so deeply. Of course not. As long as you do your work well, I'll visit you often. Gu Junqing's eyes sparkled like stars, a faint smile playing on his lips as he gazed at Yue Jinlian. Even Yue Jinlian, who had long stopped trusting men's words, couldn't help but want to believe Gu Junqing this once. Humph, player. I'd believe in ghosts before believing you. Though willing to trust him in her heart, she couldn't admit defeat verbally. Trust me. If you welcome me, I'll teach you everything I know. Gu Junqing looked solemn, as if he were truly a respectable man. This made Yue Jinlian roll her eyes, her gaze carrying endless charm and allure. She knew Gu Junqing couldn't be trusted. Humph, this bastard only craved her body. Gu Junqing sat up and glanced around. Their clothes were scattered everywhere, clearly evidence of their shameful activities. Picking up Yue Jinlian's sheer gauze, he clicked his tongue twice. How could anyone wear this? What's wrong? Yue Jinlian also sat up. Her dark hair cascaded over her shoulders and chest, exuding temptation. Putting your clothes on to send you back. Gu Junqing first put on his robe, then gathered Yue Jinlian's clothes. He wrapped her securely in a large bath towel from the bathroom. Scooping her into his arms, Yue Jinlian's snow-white, slender legs wrapped around his waist. Her delicate jade-like arms emerged from the gaps in the towel, clinging to his neck to keep from falling. This position stirred Gu Junqing's restless thoughts again, reminding him of how Yue Jinlian had wrapped her legs around his waist earlier. Yue Jinlian felt somewhat embarrassed. Seeing Gu Junqing about to leave, she quickly stopped him. Won't others see us? Don't worry, they won't. Gu Junqing chuckled. If someone with his skills could be discovered, he might as well concede. Thus, Yue Jinlian was carried back to her room in this embarrassing position. Watching Gu Junqing leave her room and obviously return to his own, Yue Jinlian turned and headed toward her bedroom bathroom, wanting to wash away certain traces. But after just 2 steps, she frowned slightly, feeling physical discomfort and significant pain. She sighed. Though mentally unwilling to admit defeat, her body couldn't keep up with Gu Junqing's pace. He had clearly noticed this, which was why he personally brought her back. Yue Jinlian then inexplicably recalled Gu Junqing's performance with her, a flicker of infatuation and desire passing through her eyes. But she quickly regained her composure, pursing her lips and murmuring with amusement. At first, I thought he was a sweet puppy, but he turned out to be a wild bull. She then entered the bathroom to wash up. After returning to his room and tidying up all traces that shouldn't exist, Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow in surprise at the dimly lit dawn outside his window. He had achieved quite the feat today. He had persisted fiercely until dawn, just as he was about to lie down and rest his body and mind. After all, lasting until dawn was physically demanding. He suddenly heard his door open again. Initially thinking Yue Jinlian had forgotten something and about to sit up, he noticed the light footsteps. They clearly didn't belong to Yue Jinlian, who had deliberately worn a robe, sheer gauze, and high heels to sneak into his room and ambush him at night. That could only mean it was Li Xixue. Gu Junqing's eyes held a hint of amusement, but then it occurred to him. What if Li Xixue was also planning a nighttime ambush? His throat tightened. He had already given almost everything he had to Yue Jinlian, leaving nothing left to spare. He hurriedly lay down on the bed, pretending to be asleep, though he couldn't help feeling a twinge of regret. It seemed he would have to wait until next time to deal with that little girl Li Xixue. This time, he was completely spent, out of ammunition and supplies. Better to rest and recover for the next battle. But one day it would happen. Chapter 143. Li Xixue quietly entered Gu Junqing's room. She saw that he seemed to be already sound asleep, and felt somewhat disappointed. Why did the meeting have to last so long? She sighed. I will make sure to pull your plug when you are old, and not let you talk too much. Li Xixue pouted and murmured to herself with some resentment toward her father. Gu Junqing was nearly laughing to death at Li Xixue's remarks. She truly was a devoted daughter. However, for the sake of his own well-being, Gu Junqing restrained himself. He did not laugh out loud. After hesitating for a moment, Li Xixue decided not to wake Gu Junqing. She was afraid he might be angry, especially since she had stood him up. Thinking about it again, she felt a bit wronged. She had not known her father would keep her for so long. After some thought, Li Xixue took off her outer clothes. She left only the lingerie she had specifically worn for Gu Junqing and nestled into his embrace. Gu Junqing felt a small body pressing into his arms. She was completely unclothed, and he was startled, thinking Li Xixue might be trying to force something. However, sensing that she was only lying with her back to him, curled up in his embrace, he relaxed his guard. Li Xixue noticed a faint, pleasant scent on Gu Junqing. It did not seem like his usual smell, which made her frown slightly. After sending Yue Jinlian back, Gu Junqing had only washed up briefly. he might still have carried a trace of her scent. Even Gu Junqing had not expected Li Xixue's sense of smell to be so sharp. Or perhaps every woman's nose becomes exceptionally sensitive when sniffing out scents on their man. No wonder so many men, after fooling around outside, would buy some green oranges, just to mask the smell, and avoid detection by the tigress at home. But clearly, Gu Junqing did not have any green oranges on hand, so Li Xixue still caught a whiff. Li Xixue turned over and used her delicate little nose to sniff Gu Junqing up and down. She wrinkled it slightly. At first, Gu Junqing did not understand what she was doing. He caught on when he realized she was sniffing his scent. Another girl with a canine nose, Gu Junqing thought to himself. He recalled how Luo Ningyu and Murong Wan had detected the scent on him once after he had just had a friendly encounter with Yue Jinlian and returned to the classroom. Li Xixue looked puzzled at the sleeping Gu Junqing. Unable to identify whose scent it was, she gave up and fell asleep as well. She was quite exhausted after discussing the Li family's general policies with her father all evening. After Li Xixue turned away and closed her eyes in deep sleep, Gu Junqing opened his eyes. He felt somewhat relieved. His relationship with Yue Jinlian could not be exposed just yet. No matter how incompetent Li Xiao might be, he would not be completely indifferent to such matters. No man could endure that, unless he had a cuckold fetish. Gu Junqing did not want to turn the Li family from allies into enemies right after building a good relationship with them. Not that he was afraid, but there was simply no need for it. With Li Xixue in control of the Li family, it was essentially the same as Gu Junqing controlling it. After all, Li Xixue's favorability toward him had reached 90. If Gu Junqing asked her to hand over the Li family directly, she would likely agree. There was no need to make the situation tense. Outside the door, Li Xiao was secretly eavesdropping on the movements in Gu Junqing's room. After confirming there was no unusual activity, he finally felt relieved. After all, Li Xixue was his only descendant, and he still had that feeling of his own cabbage being trampled by a pig. Although Gu Junqing's excellence was beyond question, he was unmatched throughout the entire Luo city. On the other side, Sichen remained in the company. He stared at the announcement published by the Li family in the newspaper, declaring the termination of their engagement with him. He also looked at the image of Gu Junqing standing beside Li Xixue. This time, his mentality completely collapsed. Losing his martial arts and his arm had not driven him to despair yet. He had thought that since he had suffered so much, Li Xixue would surely turn back to look at him. But what was happening now? Li Xixue and Gu Junqing were standing hand in hand. Had they joined forces? Or had Li Xixue betrayed him? Sichen slumped into his chair, his eyes vacant. He felt as if everything before him had turned pitch black. Gu Junqing, why? Why must you take everything from me? I have nothing left now, why? He cried out. Sichen was lost, unsure of how to proceed with his future. With everything gone, he could no longer contend with Gu Junqing. Ding, the host has completely crushed Sichen, causing him to lose his final support and driving him to darkness. Sichen has lost his protagonist status. Reward 100 villain luck. Ding, the host has completely altered the plot. Reward 30,000 villain points. Gu Junqing held Li Xixue in his embrace, a faint smirk curling at the corner of his lips. His goal for today had been perfectly achieved. Sichen, the protagonist, had been thoroughly exploited. Now that he had lost his protagonist status, the next step was to figure out how to deal with him without letting Chen Lingyu and Ji Zuyu discover it was his doing. Only one person could perfectly handle this task. That was Zhang Feiyu, who had lost his manhood. He was still accumulating bragging points to restore his male abilities. He was neglecting even some of his other capabilities, solely focused on recovering what he had lost. Gu Junqing's mind stirred. System, can you temporarily take control of Zhang Feiyu's system? Or disrupt its functions? Ding, Zhang Feiyu's system is vastly different from mine. It requires 50,000 villain points for the host to temporarily control his system. Hearing his system's explanation, Gu Junqing narrowed his eyes. If it could be done this way, then things would be straightforward. After finalizing his plans to deal with Zhang Feiyu and handle Sichen, this lingering nuisance, Gu Junqing mentally simulated the progression of events. He realized this might be the perfect strategy. Not only could he eliminate these two protagonist templates, but he could also ensure Ji Zuyu would not suspect him. Sichen sat expressionlessly in the chair Li Xixue often used, completely abandoning his previous convictions. His entire demeanor now carried a sinister aura. He felt that as long as he could eliminate Gu Junqing, he was willing to pay any price. What he did not know was that this very mindset caused the last remnants of his luck to completely drain away. Tisk tisk, divine Dr. So-Oh, wait, I mean second brother. Long time no see. How did you end up in such a miserable state? Someone walked into the company. The newcomer was none other than Sichen's sworn brother, Zhang Feiyu. Chapter 144. What are you doing here? To laugh at me. Sichen was initially surprised by Zhang Feiyu's appearance, but soon let out a cold laugh. Back then, Sichen had saved Zhang Feiyu's life, and the two had even sworn brotherhood to join forces against Gu Junqing. Yet Zhang Feiyu disappeared the very next day, and never showed his face to Sichen again. Sichen had known Zhang Feiyu might be unreliable, but he never expected him to be this unreliable, vanishing without a trace in the blink of an eye. That was why Sichen held no goodwill toward him. Zhang Feiyu's appearance had changed somewhat, becoming more feminine. His chin was clean-shaven, without a trace of stubble. He now gestured with a delicate, orchid-like hand, wore flamboyant clothes, and even his tone of voice and speech had shifted noticeably. That's right, second brother. Don't tell me you've given up on dealing with Gu Junqing. I came as soon as I saw the news. Your little fiancée has abandoned you and thrown herself into Gu Junqing's arms. Zhang Fei minced over to Su Chen in an affected manner, lightly tapping Su Chen's nose with a nail-polished finger as he spoke. Su Chen couldn't help but feel a chill of disgust. He couldn't understand why Zhang Fei, who had only been crippled, would develop such feminine traits. Logically speaking, being crippled after puberty should, at most, affect one's strength and temper. Before being crippled, one might be irritable and hot-tempered, but afterward, the temper would usually mellow, and facial hair might grow slower, which was normal. But he had never heard of anyone like Zhang Fei, who seemed to have become a completely different person. From the perspective of Su Chen, a divine doctor, he suspected Zhang Fei had developed some peculiar preferences. Noticing the odd look in Su Chen's eyes, Zhang Fei's expression stiffened slightly. He knew his behavior was strange, but for some reason, he couldn't control it. After being crippled, he had initially been despondent. After all, his system required an enormous amount of bragging points to restore his abilities, and he had lost all his bragging points after failing to show off in front of Gu Junqing. If he hadn't managed to boast in front of Su Chen, who still had considerable luck at the time, and gained a substantial amount of bragging points, he wouldn't have known how to accumulate so many. His transformation had actually begun after a strange encounter. In his state of depression, guided by a system mission, he ventured out on an exploration. Along the way, he miraculously discovered a martial arts manual. On the first page, he saw 8 large characters. To master this art, one must first castrate oneself. At the time, Zhang Fei thought the manual was a fraud, but after his system authenticated it, he learned it was genuine, and not even low-grade. This delighted Zhang Fei, since his physique was already crippled, and he could directly cultivate this technique. However, he hadn't anticipated that practicing this art would cause his body to become increasingly feminized. At first, Zhang Fei was so absorbed in the improvement of his strength that he didn't notice. Moreover, many of his former classmates had abandoned him after he offended Gu Junqing. It wasn't until he advanced in his cultivation that he gradually realized the changes. One day, looking in the mirror, he saw just how drastic the transformation had become. Not only had he developed a habitual, orchid-like hand gesture, but his face had also grown fair and beardless. This alarmed Zhang Fei, and he hurriedly asked his system if something had gone wrong with him. From the system, he learned that this change was brought about by the cultivation technique. It could be reversed either by abolishing the technique, or by exchanging for a great reviving pill from the system. After hearing the system's explanation, Zhang Fei felt relieved. So what if he changed? He could always revert back anyway. Thus, he became even more unrestrained, completely indulging himself. He even started experimenting with cross-dressing. He still remembered the first time he wore women's clothing. He had some resolve back then, thinking he would only do it once. But unexpectedly, the more he wore it, the more addicted he became. His appearance grew increasingly flamboyant, with nail polish on both his fingers and toes, and he began wearing perfume. Even his voice started turning effeminate. Indeed, cross-dressing was a matter of 0 times or countless times. Why are you staring at me? Because your fiancé ran away, and now you're developing feelings for me. Zhang Fei's increasingly feminine demeanor and flirtatious expression unconsciously led him to say such things to Su Chen. Su Chen nearly vomited from disgust at this behavior. He then remembered that he too had been castrated by that damned doctor from the Gu family, and he wondered if he would end up like Zhang Fei. The thought of becoming like Zhang Fei made Su Chen feel that death would be preferable. Su Chen swatted away Zhang Fei's hand, which had been lingering on his face. Although his hands were broken and he could no longer practice medical techniques like acupuncture, he could still manage basic daily activities. This was only because Chen Lingyu, his senior sister, had shown a moment of mercy, deciding not to be too harsh on her junior brother and allowing him to retain basic mobility. After all, their master hadn't yet descended the mountain to expel him from the sect. What exactly are you here for? Su Chen spoke coldly to Zhang Fei. Aside from that one time Zhang Fei had saved him, they had no other interactions. Isn't it obvious? You're on the verge of being completely defeated by Gu Junqing. Little brother, you're truly useless. You couldn't even hold out long enough for me to develop properly. Zhang Fei mocked him, intending to use Su Chen as a shield while he secretly grew stronger, waiting for the perfect moment to deliver a fatal blow to Gu Junqing. After all, his current strength was at least 10 times greater than before, making him confident he could rival Gu Junqing. But it still wasn't enough. He wanted to strike Gu Junqing down in one move and utterly destroy his family. He couldn't afford to give Gu Junqing any time to develop, just as Gu Junqing had done to him. What Zhang Fei didn't know was that Gu Junqing had never seen him as a person. In Gu Junqing's eyes, Zhang Fei was nothing more than a lush, tender leek, ripe for the occasional harvesting. Zhang Fei narrowed his eyes. But now, Su Chen could no longer withstand the pressure from Gu Junqing, as evidenced by his fiancée running away. So, he had no choice but to step forward, join forces with Su Chen against Gu Junqing, and wait for an opportunity to strike. Is that so? Still better than you, hiding away to develop, and only watching from the sidelines. Su Chen spat on the ground to show his contempt for Zhang Fei. If Zhang Fei had fought alongside him against Gu Junqing, he wouldn't have ended up in such a state. At the very least, he would have sent Zhang Fei to tail Gu Junqing and Chen Lingyu on their amusement park date. That way, he wouldn't have been directly crippled by Chen Lingyu. As for whether Zhang Feiya would have died on the spot, he couldn't care less. Su Chen hated this kind of player, who could clearly join team fights, but insisted on split pushing to farm safely. Is that so? Do you really think we could have stood against Gu Junqing with our strength back then? Zhang Feiya sneered. Having been publicly defeated by Gu Junqing, he understood deeply how terrifying Gu Junqing was. It was the kind of terror that made you look up to him like a towering mountain, even making you believe you could never defeat him in your entire life. Chapter 145. Su Chen fell silent for a moment, feeling somewhat lost. Forget about Gu Junqing's strength for now, just the forces behind him were already beyond what the two of them, like stray dogs, could contend with. Whether it was the Gu family backing Gu Junqing or his master, neither was someone they could afford to provoke at this point. So what do you suggest? Gu Junqing and I are both disciples under Master Zhu. I know all too well how terrifying she is. Her strength is formidable. Even my senior sister, whose strength is at least third tier, is no weaker than you. And that is not even considering the fact that we cannot afford to cross the Gu family either. Su Chen spoke with difficulty. He had never imagined that Chen Lingyu and Ji Zuyu, who should have been his allies, were now people he had to find a way to oppose. Even if the two of us join forces, we are still no match for Gu Junqing. Zhang Feiya was puzzled. Last time, he had left in a hurry, and had not asked Su Chen for more details. You and Gu Junqing are from the same sect. That is right, Su Chen nodded. Then how did you end up in such a sorry state? Zhang Feiya was confused. If Su Chen and Gu Junqing were from the same sect, why was Su Chen in such a miserable situation? Su Chen paused for a moment. Then he recounted everything that had happened between him and Gu Junqing. After listening to Su Chen's account, Zhang Feiya fell into thought. He truly felt that Su Chen had started with a winning hand, but had somehow ended up with a terrible one. In Zhang Feiya's eyes, Su Chen had been blessed from the very beginning. Whether in medical skills or his sect background, he had been far ahead of others. But who would have thought that Gu Junqing would always manage to stay one step ahead, outmaneuvering Su Chen at every turn? From what you have described, if I am not mistaken, Gu Junqing likely drugged you first, making you lose control in public, and causing you such embarrassment that you did not dare leave home. Then, he used that window of time to join your sect, even beating you to the punch by finding your senior sister before you did. Finally, he used his subordinates to set you up, making you drug your own senior sister. Zhang Feiya closed his eyes, piecing together the events step by step as he recounted what had transpired between Gu Junqing and Su Chen. After he finished speaking, both of them fell into silence. They felt that Gu Junqing's methods, while seemingly straightforward, were brutally effective. He always managed to exploit their weaknesses, as if he could see into their very souls and predict their every move. It was like a game of chess. If you were only thinking 2 steps ahead and assumed your opponent was only thinking 1, but in reality, they were 10 steps ahead, how could you possibly win? You would barely make your first move, and he would already have calculated your next 99. That was the dynamic between Gu Junqing and Su Chen. Gu Junqing seemed almost clairvoyant, ensnaring you before you even realized it. Is Gu Junqing cheating or something? Zhang Feiya's tone was uncertain. He felt that even having a system was not as outrageous as Gu Junqing's abilities. Every move felt like a psychological battle. He always had a way to counter you. How were they supposed to fight an opponent like that? I refuse to believe this. If it were not for him, I would not have lost my manhood. Zhang Feiya said darkly. If Gu Junqing had not rendered him incapacitated, how could someone like Zhang Cheng have crippled him? Although he had already taken revenge, cornering Zhang Cheng on his way home from school one day, and crippling him in return. Now, with Gu Junqing as his only major adversary, he refused to believe he could not handle him. But to deal with Gu Junqing, he must first cut off some of his wings, such as his sect influence and his family. Now, tell me in detail about your master's personality, and what you know. After some thought, Zhang Feiya decided to start with Gu Junqing's sect. Su Chen's eyes grew dazed as he sank into memories. After learning from Gu Junqing that his master was the fairy sister, he had initially been overjoyed, immersed in recalling every moment spent with her. But he never expected Gu Junqing to shatter his illusions so quickly. How dare Gu Junqing betray his master and defy his ancestors? This deepened Su Chen's hatred for Gu Junqing. The fairy sister of his dreams had been defiled by him. The thought of Ji Zuyu's pure and chaste body once submitting beneath Gu Junqing fueled even more envy and resentment in Su Chen's heart. After waiting a moment, Zhang Feiya heard Su Chen slowly recount some details about his master. When Su Chen finished, Zhang Feiya glanced at him with disdain. You spent several years with her, and did not even know whether she was a man or a woman. Su Chen sighed helplessly. With her always in black robes, a black hat, and a mask, how could I possibly tell? She never let any of us disciples get close. Then how did Gu Junqing find out? It is just because you are foolish. Zhang Feiya curled his lip scornfully. However, your master's temperament can be exploited. She remains aloof from worldly affairs, but detests evil intensely. She must value the relationship between you fellow disciples greatly. Zhang Feiya stood up and began pacing around the office. Only then did Su Chen notice that Zhang Feiya was wearing a long dress and high heels. In a brief moment, when the wind lifted the hem of the dress, sharp-eyed Su Chen even caught a glimpse of white stockings underneath. Su Chen fell silent and subtly moved farther away. A sense of fear crept over him as he suddenly recalled a long-standing internet meme. If you turned into a woman and put on women's clothes, what is the first thing you would do? One answer was, of course, go back to the dorm, and let the brothers have some fun first. Suchen worried Zhang Feiyo might be that type of person, and decided it was better to keep his distance. In his current state, Suchen had no ability to resist and feared Zhang Feiyo might force himself on him. But then he remembered Zhang Feiyo was also crippled now, and relaxed a little. Still, he thought it best to stay away from perverts. Look, if I make Gu Junqing admit in front of her that he intends to kill you, his master would surely be very disappointed. That could likely cost him this support. After pacing and thinking it over, Zhang Feiyo found the idea quite good. He then turned with what he thought was captivating charm, batted his eyelashes at Suchen, and spoke while curling his fingers delicately. Suchen shuddered with disgust and frowned. You are not going to let Gu Junqing actually kill me, are you? What if you do not stop him in time? I would be dead. For some reason, he felt as though he had lost a certain reliance. He used to act impulsively and fearlessly, taking risks without a second thought, because he had a feeling that no matter what he encountered, he would not die. In fact, those perilous situations often made him stronger. But for some reason, he no longer had that feeling of being invincible anymore. So now he did not dare act recklessly at all. Without a flawless plan, he would never dare provoke Gu Junqing again. If Gu Junqing really ended up killing him, even if someone were to kill Gu Junqing afterward, he would not be around to see it. Chapter 146. How can one contend with an opponent like Gu Junqing without taking some risks? Zhang Feiyo frowned. This Suchen had long lost the spirit he once possessed. Having been crushed by Gu Junqing too many times, and worn down by life's hardships, his edges had been smoothed away. All right then, I can give it a try. Suchen gritted his teeth. Besides, it was not all that risky. He was sure nothing would happen to him. Good. Then get ready to summon your master down the mountain. You must have a way to contact her, right? Zhang Feiyo glanced at Suchen, taking in his delicate features. For some reason, his heart stirred. He moved closer and sat beside Suchen, deliberately revealing his black stockings. Suchen, you are still a virgin, aren't you? Your fiancé has not even let you hold her hand. How about letting your bro here give you a try? Unaware that Suchen had also been rendered impotent like himself, Zhang Feiyo spoke with a seductive, silken gaze. That sultry, flirtatious look nearly made Suchen vomit. Although Suchen was far from pure-hearted himself, Zhang Feiyo's extreme tastes were more than he could stomach. He quickly stood up and pushed Zhang Feiyo away. You can leave now. The smile on Zhang Feiyo's face faded, and his hands began to itch. He desperately wanted to throw a punch at Suchen's face and shout, "Let me take a look." But then he remembered that he still needed Suchen's help, and could not afford to injure him. So he had no choice but to give up and leave with a hint of regret. Remember to notify me once you have contacted your master, Zhang Feiyo reminded Suchen before leaving. Suchen wiped the cold sweat from his brow. He had always known there was something off about Zhang Feiyo, but he could not quite put his finger on it. The man now carried an effeminate and gloomy aura. On the other side, Gu Junqing remained unaware of the schemes brewing between Suchen and Zhang Feiyo. Even if he had known, he would have dismissed them with disdain. Suchen had concealed the possibility that Gu Junqing might be involved with Jizuyu, while Zhang Feiyo had hidden the fact that his current state was due to his cultivation technique. Each withholding secrets and scheming against the other, they were doomed to fail. Brother Junqing, time to wake up. Li Xixue was still wearing her sleepwear. She glanced outside, where sunlight was already streaming in. Seeing that Gu Junqing was still asleep, she climbed on top of him and shook his head, trying to rouse him. Gu Junqing was startled awake by Li Xixue's antics. Perhaps it was because he had been up late with Yue Jinlian the night before, followed by Li Xixue's arrival, leaving him physically and mentally exhausted. Of course, it might also have been because holding Li Xixue while sleeping was quite comfortable, which was why he had slept so soundly and woken up even later than her. Gu Junqing looked at Li Xixue sitting on his abdomen, still dressed like that, and raised an eyebrow. Has no one ever told you not to wake a sleeping lion? Aren't you afraid you might devour it in one bite? After saying this, he felt something was off and corrected himself. Aren't you afraid it might devour you? Li Xixue sensed the implication and blushed furiously, quickly scrambling off of him. You always bully me. She nestled into Gu Junqing's embrace, greedily inhaling his scent. Gu Junqing coughed lightly. He had teased her with his words, and now this little girl was turning the tables on him, clearly seeking revenge. Still, he could not help but feel a secret thrill. Oh, by the way, it seems you have someone else's scent on you. Li Xixue sniffed again before confirming she had not mistaken it. It appeared she had not been wrong about what she smelled last night. Gu Junqing inwardly groaned. He had originally planned to take a shower in the morning, never expecting that Li Xixue would wake up earlier than him. Really? It is probably from when I was discussing your situation with your concubine yesterday. Gu Junqing furrowed his brows slightly, pretending to carefully recall yesterday's events as he spoke these words. Is that so? What did you talk about regarding me? Li Xixue looked suspiciously at Gu Junqing's face, but found no tells, so she set her worries aside. Little did she know that Gu Junqing possessed acting skills worthy of an Oscar. How could his face possibly give him away? What she did not realize was that when someone lies, it is not just their face that reacts. You can also judge based on their body. For example, when Sun Wukong was leading the White Dragon horse, and Tang Santang was riding it, if Sun Wukong asked Tang Santang whether he liked the Queen of the Daughter Kingdom, the White Dragon horse would surely know if Tang Santang was lying. Yue Jinlian told me why she protects you. The Li family is a large, ruthless clan that devours people without spitting out the bones. She could only let you see and experience things for yourself so you could learn to protect yourself. She cannot shield you forever. Gu Junqing recounted some examples of how Yue Jinlian had protected Li Xixue, moving her to tears. She had originally been closest to Yue Jinlian. Otherwise, she would not have cursed that half-orc for Yue Jinlian's sake. It was only due to some misunderstandings and unresolved issues that the two sisters had grown distant. Gu Junqing did his best to clear up the misunderstandings between the two women. After all, the Li family would be under their control in the future, and since both were essentially his women, it would not do for them to remain at odds. The thought of possibly being caught between these two in the future made Gu Junqing somewhat alert. It seems I need to focus on training my body. I have been a bit lazy lately, Gu Junqing thought to himself. Li Xixue was clearly not someone to be trifled with, and adding Yue Jinlian, a big shark with a huge appetite, into the mix. He felt that if he did not intensify his cultivation of the Yellow Emperor's inner canon, he might find himself lacking, which would leave him feeling insecure. Then I will go talk to her later too, Li Xixue said, wiping her tears and sitting up with a serious expression. Of course, that is good. After all, you will be overseeing the Li family in the future, and you will need someone to assist you. Gu Junqing looked at Li Xixue's posture, and could only cough lightly to remind her. Only then did Li Xixue shyly lean forward, hiding herself from Gu Junqing's view. How did you know grandfather and father would let me take charge of the Li family? Li Xixue asked curiously, lifting her head. Her dark hair cascaded onto Gu Junqing's chest, making his heart itch slightly. With everything that has happened under Li Xiao's leadership, he can no longer control the Li family. Whether it is old Master Li or the rest of the Li family, they definitely will not let him remain in charge. Moreover, his indecisive and weak character makes him unfit to lead. Gu Junqing shook his head. And you are the only legitimate daughter in the Li family. You are the sole choice. Besides, my Xixue is so clever and decisive. You will definitely do better than your father. Gu Junqing affectionately patted Li Xixue's head as he praised her. Chapter 147. Of course, I will definitely do better than father. Li Xixue raised her head proudly, her expression filled with arrogance. I spoke with Yue Jinlian yesterday. She wants to be your assistant. What do you think? Gu Junqing stroked Li Xixue's head, knowing she would surely agree. Of course that is fine. If I were alone, I would probably be very busy. With someone to help me, I can come to school more often to play with brother Junqing. Li Xixue smiled brightly, thoroughly enjoying the caress, actively rubbing against his palm like a little cat. Gu Junqing's smile stiffened slightly, thinking to himself, so you can come create a battlefield between Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu. However, by agreeing to let Yue Jinlian assist Li Xixue, Gu Junqing clearly also had the intention of preventing her from becoming too exhausted. Although the Li family was not as powerful as the Gu family, it was still a major clan. There would inevitably be many matters requiring her attention from top to bottom. Certainly, some people would not accept her. Without assistance, Li Xixue's energy would undoubtedly be completely consumed by the Li family. Although Li Xixue was capable enough, managing such a large family required more than just management skills. She needed abilities in coordination, control, and leadership. After all, they had seen how Li Xiao, despite being educated by the old master since childhood, still could not manage it well. Now Li Xixue's seniority was even less than Li Xiao's. Even with Gu Junqing's support behind the scenes, there would definitely be those who dared to feign compliance while acting contrary. Do you want to be the head of the Li family? If you do not, I can think of a way. Gu Junqing looked at Li Xixue with concern. It is fine. As long as I can help brother Junqing, any hardship is worth it. Li Xixue shook her head, her expression appearing indifferent. Gu Junqing was somewhat moved. Li Xixue's affection for him had truly reached its limit, just like the intense devotion found in history and legend. He recalled how some figures would resolve to create a new world, or oppose the entire world for the sake of their love. In his previous life, Gu Junqing had read novels where protagonists would neglect the female leads after winning their affection. The women would then behave like robots, working diligently without complaint, and never feeling jealousy. Gu Junqing had always scorned this approach. No matter how deep the feelings, they needed to be nurtured. What he most desired in his relationships was a deeper mutual understanding. Love at first sight is ultimately only superficial. Only through time can true feelings develop, and those are the most enduring. You do not need to force yourself. I am not that weak yet. Gu Junqing held Li Xixue's hand while stroking her cheek with his other hand. Humph, if I do not do this, how can I distinguish myself from those two wretched women, Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu? It is all because brother Junqing is too flirtatious, you fickle-hearted radish. If I cannot even surpass them, how can I become the rightful wife? Li Xixue spoke these words angrily, showing that her grievances against Gu Junqing had been deepening. However, having grown up in a family like the Li family, she felt jealous of some of Gu Junqing's actions. Even Gu Junqing's pained expression could not dispel Li Xixue's complaints. Gu Junqing awkwardly rubbed the bridge of his nose. It seemed he had been overthinking things. When it came to such matters, Gu Junqing always believed the best approach was to silence them. He could not possibly act like a certain champion and throw a deliberate punch just because his wife was being unreasonable. As Gu Junqing was contemplating how to silence Li Xixue, Li Xiao knocked on the door. Junqing, Xixue, come downstairs for dinner. Hearing Li Xiao's voice, Gu Junqing breathed a sigh of relief and quickly took Li Xixue's hand. He was genuinely afraid, as Li Xixue seemed obsessed with the position of the main wife, always wanting to outshine Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu. Little did she know that there were several others eyeing Gu Junqing from behind, and they were all big sharks. Let us go eat first. If you want the position, you can have it, and I will try to arrange some people to help you. Gu Junqing hurriedly steered the conversation back, avoiding the more dangerous topics. Li Xixue looked suspiciously at Gu Junqing's face, sensing he might be changing the subject. Seeing his support, she relaxed. It was not just about competing with Murong Wan and the others. She also felt a pang of heartache for Gu Junqing and wanted to keep up with his pace. Gu Junqing stood at such a high position, as he was taking over the Gu family, which was even darker and more ruthless than the Li family. Moreover, she, Murong Wan, and the others secretly felt somewhat inferior, believing they were not worthy of Gu Junqing. They worked hard, hoping one day to stand shoulder to shoulder with him instead of gazing up at him from the foot of the mountain. However, taking over the leadership of the Li family this time had genuinely made Li Xixue happy. The thought of Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu looking like defeated hens excited her, and she could not wait to see their expressions. Fine, I will let it slide this time. Let us go eat. Li Xixue's ability to switch roles left Gu Junqing in awe, as one moment she was a queen, and the next, a delicate young girl. Her control over the act was truly exquisite. It was no wonder she could suppress Murong Wan, who was also a female lead. Even with Luo Ningyu's help, Murong Wan was no match. Li Xixue linked arms with Gu Junqing and went downstairs, immediately spotting Yue Jinlian, who was also heading down. Seeing Li Xixue clinging to Gu Junqing made Yue Jinlian envious, but she did not dare do anything in public. You, sister. After hearing from Gu Junqing about Yue Jinlian's actions, Li Xixue had already forgiven her in her heart, realizing it was all for her own good. Yue Jinlian froze for a moment and turned her head to wipe her tears, not letting Li Xixue see. When she turned back, she had resumed her charming and affectionate big sister persona. Oh, so you are not calling me concubine anymore? Yue Jinlian teased, though the slight redness in her eyes betrayed her true feelings. I am sorry, sister Yue. I misunderstood you. Li Xixue bowed her head and apologized sincerely. In truth, Yue Jinlian had always been very good to her. It was just that Li Xixue had been blinded by doubt and failed to see Yue Jinlian's kindness. Yue Jinlian, alone and destitute, was using her own methods and meager strength to protect Li Xixue. Perhaps this was also aided by the female protagonist's luck, as both of them rarely encountered persecution or crises. Chapter 148. It's alright, as long as you're not hurt. Yue Jinlian's eyes were red. Every time she tried to explain herself, Li Xixue had shut her down and ignored her. It was enough that Li Xixue was willing to forgive her this time. Li Xixue couldn't help but feel her own eyes welling up as she stepped forward and took Yue Jinlian's hand. They had been close since childhood. Yue Jinlian only had Li Xixue as a friend, and while Li Xixue had many playmates, none of them had good intentions. Only Yue Jinlian genuinely cared for her. Thinking back to how she used to follow Yue Jinlian around, calling her sister, Li Xixue felt a wave of emotion. But what Li Xixue didn't realize was that, in a certain way, Yue Jinlian truly was like an older sister to her. Yue Jinlian glanced at Gu Junqing but said nothing. The two women held each other's hands, feeling sentimental, and suddenly it felt like old friends reuniting. Gu Junqing watched as they talked and cried, feeling somewhat helpless. Since you've made up, there's no need to cry anymore. Dinner will be served soon. Watching you two like this makes me want to eat 2 big bowls of rice. It's so heartwarming. Gu Junqing walked over with a smile. His words earned him an eye roll from both women, but the melancholy atmosphere lifted, and they began chatting happily. Actually, it might be nice if you still called me concubine, Yue Jinlian whispered. She smirked, adding, because someone seems to get excited about it. Yue Jinlian hinted meaningfully, stealing another glance at Gu Junqing where Li Xixue couldn't see. Gu Junqing remained silent. As a spiritual successor of Boss Xiao, having some unique preferences was perfectly normal. No, I'd rather call you sister Yue, just like when we were little. Li Xixue cooed in front of Yue Jinlian. She had always adored Yue Jinlian since childhood, so whenever she was hurt or facing difficulties, she would act spoiled around her, a habit ingrained in her bones. Hand in hand, the two women walked into the dining room with Gu Junqing. Li Xiao found the scene curious, as his daughter hadn't held Yue Jinlian's hand like that since she was little. It had been a long time since he'd seen such a sight. But matters between women were beyond his control, so he focused on entertaining Gu Junqing. After all, Gu Junqing's status and relationship with Li Xixue warranted his attentiveness, not to mention that Gu Junqing had essentially saved their Li family. Of course, a meal wouldn't be complete without drinks. Li Xiao was determined to get Gu Junqing drunk to ask if he had any other plans for the Li family. Li Xiao was confident in his drinking skills. Having been the family head for so long, social engagements were unavoidable. Over the years, he had built up quite a tolerance. But who was Gu Junqing? He had once gotten Ji Zuyu, who had reached the 7th grade transcendent realm, drunk, though he had used some tricks at the time. Still, an ordinary person like Li Xiao was no match for him. With a faint smile, Gu Junqing drank glass after glass with Li Xiao. At first, Li Xiao muttered to himself, wondering why Gu Junqing wasn't drunk yet. Was he pretending? But as they drank more, Li Xiao lost all restraint and kept downing glass after glass. The two women paid no attention to the subtle rivalry between the men, chatting away and ignoring them. Nephew Junqing, this is the first time I've enjoyed drinking so much. Li Xiao laughed heartily, setting down his glass and speaking with gusto. Li Xixue felt rather conflicted. If Li Xiao hadn't been thoroughly drunk by Gu Junqing to end up in this state, she might not even believe her own surname anymore. Not at all, uncle is the one with great drinking capacity. Gu Junqing smiled faintly. The alcohol he consumed was completely metabolized the moment it entered his stomach. Only special liquors exchanged through the system could possibly intoxicate him. Heek, why call me uncle? That's too formal. From now on, we should address each other as brothers. I'll call you little brother, and you call me big brother. Li Xiao let out a drunken hiccup. Hearing Gu Junqing address him as uncle, he immediately became displeased and insisted that Gu Junqing call him big brother instead. Li Xixue's expression changed drastically at this. If Gu Junqing started calling Li Xiao brother, their generational hierarchy would be completely overturned. Yue Jinlian also began to feel speechless. That would make her relationship with Gu Junqing even more complicated. She quickly joined Li Xixue in trying to persuade Li Xiao to stop drinking. Why are you trying to stop me? I'm not drunk at all. Don't any of you try to persuade me anymore, or I'll hit you. Li Xiao's face was flushed red, reeking of alcohol, clearly already incoherent. Yet he still raised his glass, wanting to clink glasses with Gu Junqing. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. Of course, he never refused a drink. Since they were drinking, they might as well enjoy it to the fullest. Although he didn't feel anything from the alcohol anyway. Big brother, don't just focus on drinking. Have some dishes too. Gu Junqing gestured to Li Xiao, a hint of amusement in his eyes. Li Xixue and Yue Jinlian both rolled their eyes at him simultaneously. This guy was really pushing his luck, clearly not drunk at all, without even a hint of redness on his face. All right, little brother, these peanuts are quite tasty. Li Xiao felt that he was indeed getting too dizzy. A strong sense of self-preservation made him pick up some food. Little brother, these dumplings are delicious. Try them quickly. Gu Junqing meaningfully picked up a dumpling, glanced at Yue Jinlian, and swallowed it in one bite. He understood the saying well. Nothing tastes better than dumplings, and nothing is more fun than a sister-in-law. Watching Gu Junqing's actions and hearing Li Xiao's drunken words, Yue Jinlian's face began to flush. She shot a fierce glare at Gu Junqing. Get lost, get lost. Even a temptress like Yue Jinlian was nearly made shy by this. She mouthed the words at Gu Junqing. Sister Yue, what's wrong? Your face is so red, and you haven't been drinking. Li Xixue asked with some concern. It's nothing. Maybe I'm a little allergic to these seafood dumplings. It'll pass soon. Yue Jinlian forced an explanation. She didn't dare say she was blushing because of Gu Junqing's teasing. Li Xiao continued to spout nonsense with Gu Junqing. Afraid he might say something even more shocking, Li Xixue quickly asked the old butler to take Li Xiao away to sober up. She'd had enough. As Li Xiao was led away, he loudly protested. I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk. On drinking occasions, those who claim they aren't drunk usually are, while those who say they are drunk usually aren't. There seemed to be some truth to that, Gu Junqing pondered. After Gu Junqing and the two women finished their meal, Li Xiao began to sober up a bit after drinking some hangover soup. He walked out with a bitter smile. Junqing, my good brother, you really can hold your liquor. Li Xiao felt somewhat awkward. He still had some memory of insisting on treating Gu Junqing as a younger brother, and now he had no choice but to acknowledge it. It's fine, Uncle Li. From now on, let's each follow our own way. I'll call you uncle, and you can call me brother. Gu Junqing waved his hand, indicating that it wasn't a big deal, his words full of reassurance. This only made Li Xiao feel even more awkward. Li Xixue pinched Li Xiao's waist, feeling embarrassed by her own father's behavior. Yue Jinlian facepalmed, not wanting to speak. Gu Junqing didn't mind at all, though this had completely messed up the seniority among them. However, this seemed even more chaotic than second Uncle Li's family. Gu Junqing pondered. Is our circle really this messy now? Chapter 149. Brother Junqing, is there anything you require from the Li family, or anything you need us to do? Li Xiao still felt somewhat awkward and unaccustomed, always pausing slightly when uttering the word brother. He thought it better not to beat around the bush or play any tricks with Gu Junqing. Initially, Li Xiao believed that given Gu Junqing's age, whether in drinking or scheming, he could not possibly match a seasoned old fox like himself who had struggled in the workplace for years. But unexpectedly, Gu Junqing's cunning and methods far surpassed what he had imagined. Even his proud drinking capacity was nothing in front of Gu Junqing, so he decided it was best to be open and honest with him. Uncle, do not worry. I will explain to Xixue what I intend to do, Gu Junqing said. Since you have already stepped down, there is no need to trouble yourself with so many concerns. Gu Junqing's nonchalant words made Li Xiao mutter to himself. That is exactly why I am worried. Don't I understand that silly girl Xixue? I am afraid you could sell her off, and she would still be counting the money for you. However, Li Xiao certainly could not say that out loud. Hesitating for a moment, he ultimately gave up speaking. After all, as long as he and the old master were still alive, they could still help Li Xixue cover any mishaps. They could prevent her from being sold out by that little fox Gu Junqing. Since there is nothing else and the Li family's crisis has been resolved, I will take my leave now. I still have some matters to attend to. Gu Junqing smiled, preparing to leave, intending to return another day. As for that girl Li Xixue, he thought it best to deal with her later. After all, she was still young. As for Yue Jinlian, that big shark, Gu Junqing felt he needed to frequently come and hand over public grain to her. Otherwise, he was not sure if this seductive and alluring woman with an enormous appetite would cuckold him. With that thought, he glanced meaningfully in Yue Jinlian's direction. What, you are leaving already? Can't you stay a few more days? Li Xixue hurried forward, grabbing Gu Junqing's arm. Her reluctant expression and obvious admiration made Li Xiao's teeth ache. What, leaving so soon? Yue Jinlian, who had been watching from the sidelines, grew anxious upon hearing Gu Junqing's intention to leave, and could no longer remain seated. She did not want Gu Junqing to leave just like that. They had only recently established a connection, and after Gu Junqing's acupuncture last night, he was already planning to run off today. Gu Junqing's demeanor reminded her of a scumbag who pulls up his pants and denies everything after getting what he wants, filling her with resentment. She had even planned to sneak into his room tonight for a surprise attack. Last night was her first time, so she was not in top form, but tonight would be different. She had rested and recuperated, determined to leave Gu Junqing exhausted and depleted. But now, hearing that Gu Junqing intended to leave, her gaze shot toward him like icy arrows, filled with quiet accusation. However, as soon as she finished speaking, Li Xiao and Li Xixue looked at her with slightly strange expressions. Only then did Yue Jinlian suddenly realize that, to outsiders, she and Gu Junqing had no apparent connection. Her urgency to keep him from leaving would surely arouse suspicion. Flustered and searching for a solution, she glanced at Gu Junqing only to find him smiling amusedly, as if enjoying the spectacle. Seeing him so unbothered made her blood boil. So she was the only one panicking, while this adulterous man was not the least bit concerned. Thinking quickly in her panic, she hastily adopted the demeanor of an elder. I felt an instant connection with Gu Junqing, so I have also taken him as my younger brother. Now that my brother is leaving, what is wrong with me trying to keep him here? Li Xiao and Li Xixue were not fools. They could naturally tell this explanation was fabricated. Li Xiao felt somewhat awkward. Even if he did not value Yue Jinlian much, if she were to get involved with Gu Junqing, he would still lose face to some extent. So it was better for him to pretend not to know about the matter, treating it as doing Gu Junqing a favor. As for Li Xixue, she was completely indifferent. She even thought that if Gu Junqing were to take Yue Jinlian as well, then with the sisters united, would they not easily surpass Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu, that pair of sisters? However, their thoughts were still relatively shallow, at most assuming that Yue Jinlian had developed affection after seeing how handsome Gu Junqing was and his captivating charm. After all, Yue Jinlian was a woman, and any woman who saw Gu Junqing's face would naturally grow fond of him. He was just too good-looking. Moreover, Gu Junqing carried a wild and unrestrained aura, essentially captivating everyone regardless of gender or age with his appearance and demeanor. But they never imagined that Gu Junqing and Yue Jinlian had already engaged in deep communication, reaching the point where they understood each other's lengths and depths. Sometimes, the emotions between men and women are just this strange. A single glance can ignite a fiery passion, leading to intense entanglement. Of course, the reason Gu Junqing and Yue Jinlian ended up in such a relationship was entirely because Yue Jinlian was lustful. She craved Gu Junqing's body. After hearing Yue Jinlian's words, Gu Junqing facepalmed. The excuse she came up with was worse than not giving one at all, resorting to the brother and sister act. Did she not know that such relationships were the most prone to complications? However, seeing that Li Xiao and the others showed no reaction, Gu Junqing breathed a sigh of relief. Explaining this matter would have been quite troublesome. After all, he could not just bluntly say that Yue Jinlian lusted after him, and he half-heartedly went along with it. I am afraid I have some matters to attend to, so I will visit you all another time, Xixue and sister. Gu Junqing smiled, deliberately pausing at sister, which made Yue Jinlian somewhat embarrassed. Junqing, wait. Come with me for a moment, I have something to trouble you with, Li Xiao suddenly said, though he looked rather sheepish. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. Had Li Xiao actually caught onto something? Was he being asked to confess now? Nevertheless, Gu Junqing followed Li Xiao into a small side room off the main hall. What is it, Uncle Li? Gu Junqing asked, noticing Li Xiao's hesitant demeanor. Since Li Xiao seemed too embarrassed to speak, he decided to take the initiative. Brother, I am not afraid to admit this to you, my body has a problem. I cannot have children. Li Xiao hesitated for a moment before speaking, extremely embarrassed. After all, admitting such impotence to a junior was something anyone would find awkward. Although Gu Junqing had long known about it. Uncle, give me your hand. Let me check your pulse. Li Xiao extended his hand. After checking the pulse, Gu Junqing frowned and shook his head. The frown made Li Xiao's heart sink. As the old saying goes, no worries when Western doctors smile, but dread the frown of an old Chinese physician. Sure enough, Gu Junqing shook his head. Uncle, I am sorry. Your kidney meridians are completely necrotic. Even a deity would struggle to save them. After Gu Junqing finished speaking, he left. He left Li Xiao sighing alone in place. Chapter 150. Li Xiao sighed despondently on the spot. His wish to have a son was completely dashed. In truth, he had been mentally prepared. Gu Junqing's explanation matched Su Chen's initial diagnosis, yet he had still held on to a sliver of hope, especially since Gu Junqing's medical skills were clearly superior. It still left him disappointed, even turning into despair. Was Gu Junqing truly incapable of treating his fertility issues? Not necessarily. Gu Junqing's medical skills had reached a divine level. While it was possible to treat Li Xiao's infertility, the process would be extremely cumbersome. Gu Junqing had no time to waste on it. Alternatively, he could exchange for an elixir from the system and have Li Xiao take it. But was Gu Junqing that kind of person? Helping Li Xiao would bring him no benefits and could even lead to hidden troubles. After all, family businesses were typically passed down to sons, not daughters. If Li Xiao were to have a son, what if he ended up competing with Li Xixue for the family estate? Although Gu Junqing did not see it as a threat, he still had to consider Li Xixue's feelings. If Li Xiao had a son, he would be Li Xixue's biological younger brother. If a conflict over the family estate arose, she might not have the heart to take action against him. Moreover, if Li Xiao were cured, what if he took a liking to Yue Jinlian? The reason Li Xiao had previously shown no interest in Yue Jinlian was that he was incapable. But if he regained his vitality, Gu Junqing doubted anyone could resist Yue Jinlian's allure. After all, even Gu Junqing himself had nearly succumbed. It was worth noting that even Gu Junqing could not resist Yue Jinlian's charm, and had almost fallen prey to her seduction, let alone a rejuvenated Li Xiao. Thus, Gu Junqing had no intention of doing such a thankless task. It was better to prevent all potential troubles before they arose. Besides, beauty was a bone-scraping knife, and it was better not to let Li Xiao endure such torment. Let the countless blades and axes fall upon me alone. Such karma should be borne by me alone, Gu Junqing thought to himself. To be honest, Li Xiao lacked the cultivation techniques and physique that Gu Junqing possessed, yet he had indulged even more recklessly than Gu Junqing. Bringing one concubine after another into his household, he had reaped the bitter consequences of not valuing his vitality in his youth. Of course, it was not appropriate to say this outright. Li Xiao was already deeply distressed, and adding insult to injury would only crush him further. While Gu Junqing was discussing with Li Xiao whether his condition could be treated, Yue Jinlian and Li Xixue were chatting outside. Seeing no one around, Li Xixue sat down beside Yue Jinlian and spoke to her. "Sister Jinlian, tell me, do you have feelings for brother Junqing?" Li Xixue asked. Li Xixue smiled mischievously as she pinched Yue Jinlian's slender, smooth waist. Her other hand wandered over Yue Jinlian's body before she sighed, and nestled into Yue Jinlian's embrace. It seemed as though she was lamenting Yue Jinlian's situation, how someone so stunningly beautiful could remain unappreciated. Li Xixue's pinching made Yue Jinlian shiver, and she quickly swatted away Li Xixue's wandering hand. "Silly girl, why does it sound like you would be happy if I liked your brother Junqing?" Yue Jinlian laughed. "Of course, Sister Jinlian, you do not know, but two little girls always gang up to bully me, and no one helps me," Li Xixue complained. Li Xixue pretended to be wronged, and deliberately exaggerated some incidents of Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu bullying her. If Gu Junqing heard this, he would surely feel sorry for Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu, as what he had witnessed was nothing like what she described. It was only then that Yue Jinlian realized Gu Junqing did not have only Li Xixue as his woman. But she was already on this pirate ship, even if she was merely craving Gu Junqing's body. "He has other female companions outside?" Yue Jinlian asked. "Exactly, and there might be even more out there," Li Xixue exclaimed. Li Xixue said angrily, as she was satisfied with everything about Gu Junqing and willing to indulge him, except for his philandering. Yue Jinlian patted Li Xixue's head, as she still cherished this younger sister deeply. Otherwise, she would not have protected her for so long, even at the cost of being misunderstood. "What do you want me to do then, sister?" Yue Jinlian asked. "Sister, you should become Junqing's woman too. Moreover, you can comfort him properly, so he won't have the energy to flirt around outside," Li Xixue suggested. Li Xixue's eyes lit up, looking somewhat delighted. She thought that by joining forces with Sister Jinlian, they could surely make Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu admit defeat. Little did she know that her sister Jinlian had already secretly spent the night with Gu Junqing. However, Yue Jinlian thought it better not to reveal this, since she had slept with Gu Junqing without informing anyone last night. But now it was different, she had Li Xixue's consent. She could openly crave Gu Junqing's body. "All right, Xixue, let me teach you a few tricks on how to seduce a man. When Gu Junqing comes out later, watch for my signal," Yue Jinlian said. After Gu Junqing emerged alone from the small room, Li Xixue and Yue Jinlian pretended to be reluctant to let him leave. This was the first time Li Xixue had spent such a long time with Gu Junqing, so her sadness was evident when he suddenly had to leave. Previously, her interactions with him were limited to their time at school, and she had never experienced such sweetness. But now that she had tasted it, she felt increasingly unable to live without Gu Junqing. If the Li family had not just been handed over to her, keeping her extremely busy, she would have followed him. Yue Jinlian felt even more strongly, as having just met such an exceptional man like Gu Junqing, she was unwilling to let him leave so soon. An idea struck her, and she pretended to have a headache, collapsing into Gu Junqing's arms. "Junqing, I think I'm sick. I feel weak and exhausted all over. Could you help me to the small room and check if there is something wrong?" Gu Junqing was speechless, as with Li Xixue right beside them, he wondered if she was trying to make him do something improper. Li Xixue widened her eyes, thinking to herself, "Why did I not think of that? Sister is still sister, as this way, she can be alone with Junqing. And when a man and a woman are alone together, what happens goes without saying." Gu Junqing glanced at Li Xixue and found her not reacting negatively. Instead, she seemed anxious. "Junqing, hurry and take sister there. She is clearly sick." "I will wait here for you," Li Xixue urged. Gu Junqing's expression turned complicated, as this act would not even fool a simpleton. With Yue Jinlian's flushed face, did she look sick? It was obvious she was just craving his body again. Gu Junqing had no choice, so since both women insisted, he could only graciously accept and offer himself up. However, if these two wanted to compete in acting, was his title of Oscar King earned for nothing? "All right, I actually noticed some of Sister Yu's ailments at first glance. I will treat her right away, so do not worry," Gu Junqing said. After saying this, Gu Gu Junqing directly hoisted Yue Jinlian over his shoulder and strode swiftly into the room next to where Li Xixue was staying. Li Xixue's mouth twitched, wondering if this was how one should treat a patient. Who had ever seen someone carry a patient like this? It seemed Gu Junqing was fully aware of their little schemes. To be continued. Hope you liked today's video. Join the community by subscribing and dropping a like. I'll be back with another update as soon as possible. See you then.